What's good? It's your boy 2K3 Kings Boxing in the house. We back on the air, episode number 20. This shit is going by fast as hell, dog. It don't feel like episode 20. Feel like episode 6, 7, 8, something like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, you know, it
But
be like that. You know what I'm saying? When you like what you do.
word up, word up. You could have kept it with love. That was straight. You know what I'm saying? We the real at this shit. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no bullshit. We
I
not
hear
doing this
that. I
shit.
hear that.
We ain't doing this shit for views. We not doing this shit for money. Shit. YouTube keeps demonetizing my fucking videos. So we definitely not doing it for money. You know what
No
I'm
shit.
saying?
No.
Shit.
You ain't never
This
because
my
this is not pain. This is not what's taking us to fights. I tell you
Oh
that right
hell no.
now.
This ain't doing nothing for us. You know what I'm saying? This
Right.
is for y'all. Educational purpose and entertainment purposes only. You know what I'm saying?
No shit.
All right, let's just jump right into it. Everybody knows if you got a problem with what we say, you can just come see us, dog. So let's jump right into it.
Yes, sir.
Bo, you gonna love this one, man. You gonna love
All
this
right,
one.
let me hit it. Let me hit it. Let me hit it.
Bob Arum pulling that race card.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, yeah. That's hot topic.
Okay,
That's hot
that's hot.
topic. Matter of
Oh,
fact,
hell yeah. That's number one.
I'm gonna let you do it, man. Tell him what you saw, bro. Tell him.
All right, so you got Bob Arums, who is quoting as saying, and I'm not gonna hold on. Matter of fact, I took a snapshot picture of this shit, right? Because I wanted to make sure, don't because you know you got his defenders, right?
Right.
And let's not get it twisted. You got Haymon defenders, you got Arum defenders, you got Hearn defenders, you got but they all got their defenders, okay? Let's not act like they motherfuckers don't, right?
Right.
But you got these defenders, dog, that when you say something, they quick to jump in and no, the fuck up. You can't, something you just can't excuse, right? So Bob Arums is quoted as saying that Haymon is gonna tell Errol Spence not to work with the white guy. He's gonna pull the brother card, tell him stay over here with us, and and the brother and the brotherhood. This is
Word
what he said. Okay. Shout out to Lance Puckmeyer because he's the one who wrote the article LA Times. All right.
up. Hey,
That's what
hey,
he said.
no problem giving a shout out.
Yeah, exactly.
No problem.
Probably better Lance wrote it because if I'd have saw it wrote that motherfucker, it'd have been the biased piece of shit you ever seen in your life.
Hell yeah. Hell
So he
yeah.
said that. And my problem is, I don't give a fuck how much you ride with a promoter, how much you ride with anybody. There's always supposed to be a balance of right and wrong. I don't give a fuck how much you like somebody, how much you agree. There's always supposed to be a balance of right and wrong. You cannot like them. Supposed to be that balance. This was wrong. And what I want to know is all of you people out there that every time when we've said on this show, hey man, you know, as a black fighter, you have to do more. Oh, why y'all pulling a race car? We got to get that out of boxing. Okay, wait, where the fuck is y'all at? Where y'all
Yeah.
at?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, where y'all at? Because y'all always on us when we say it, even though we're saying it from a true perspective. But where y'all at? But on top of that, Bob saying this is the stupidest shit ever because Al Haymon, see, you're giving this view that Haymon don't like working with white people, right? So let's just break that down right there. Because he didn't say he didn't say he wants him not to work with Bob. He said tell him not to work with the white guy. Okay, so you're giving this view perspective of Haymon don't like working with white people, and let's really call it a buck. The reason why Bob is saying this is deflection, people. Why? Because that pay-per-view with Khan and Terence Crawford, with the way it went down, it was fucked up. So divert from having to answer questions about, yo, why did you pick a dude that was done? To divert from that, this is what he's doing. All right. I see through this. I see through the bullshit. Okay. I see through the bullshit. But he's trying to project this thing that Haymon don't want to work with white people. Well, that's not the case when it came to Dominique Brazzelli, Charles Martin, and Eric Molina, who all fought Anthony Joshua. Who's Anthony Joshua promoter?
I don't know. Some
Okay.
white guy named Eddie Hearn, I think. I don't something like
Oh,
that.
all right. Tyson Fury just fought Deontay Wilder. Who the fuck is his promoter?
I don't know. Frank Warren? Somebody. I don't know.
Right. Leon Santa Cruz fought Carl Frampton at that time. Who was Frampton's promoter?
Damn, it's either Eddie Hearn or Frank Warren. One of the two.
What right? And then the recruit de Gras Felix Diaz, John Molina Jr. fought Terence Crawford. Who the fuck is Terence Crawford, promoter?
Ah, damn it. I can't remember the guy's name. Tell me who his promoter is, man. I completely forgot. I thought I put it in the title, but for some reason my eyes are blurry. I can't read what I wrote. What was it? Who was the promoter?
I believe it's Bob himself.
I think so too. You know what it is? Eddie Hearn and Frank Warren are Mexican. They're not white. That's what it is. They're Mexican, bro.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
you know
my man don't hit too tough. My man JD said, he said Don King is Molina's promoter. No, but I'm saying that he's advised. Talking about which one? John Molina Jr. or Eric Molina? Which one? Be more specific. Which one? But the point I'm trying to make is, and on top of that, of course, Amir Khan fought Canelo Alvarez, Cecilia Lopez fought Canelo Alvarez, and Daniel Jacobs fought GGG. But the point I'm trying to make is, there's no way Haymon can tell any fighter not to work with a white guy when the only promoter in the game right now that's black is who? Don King, because Al Haymon's not a promoter, he's an advisor. And since you're only talking Don King, well, what fighter Don King got in what division that we talking about here?
Mm-hmm.
So for him to even make the inclination is fucked up and is wrong. And the fact that he can say it, and there's no back. If Al Haymon would have said, Bob Arum don't want to work with no black people, man, motherfuckers would have had him. You couldn't have got motherfuckers to shut the fuck up talking about that shit.
Mm-hmm.
You couldn't have got them to shut the fuck up talking about it. Then on top of that, like just like I pointed out, okay, that same article, Lance Puckmart, what did he say? He said Arum says he'll keep his vow to attempt to reach Haymon by telephone early this week to inquiries of Crawford and Spence as possible. But the veteran promoter said he believes he already knows how the conversation will go. So when he got up in that ring and he said Haymon don't want to fight, what did we tell y'all? He never talked to the motherfucker. It's right there. Right there in the motherfucker.
He already said it.
He never talked.
He specifically said it. And again, if y'all go back and listen to what we had, it wasn't episode 19. It was the stream before this one. We specifically told you guys that on the conference call that we were on, Bob Arum said out of his own fucking mouth that he was going to call Al Haymon as soon as Terence Crawford beat Amir Khan. Now, in this particular interview, or when Lance Puckmart spoke with him, he admitted that he had not called Al Haymon, that he is only speculating at which Al Haymon, the response he would have if Bob Arum calls him. How the fuck can you run with that? How can you run with speculation? You see, if I was on this podcast, right, Bo, just speculating all over the place, what would y'all do? What would y'all say? Right? Y'all would end up telling y'all. A lot of people say the dumbest shit today. I've been saying it before Donald Trump got in office, but now everybody is saying it. Fake news, right? That's what they would. That's what they would be saying about us. Fake news, right? But a guy like Bob Arum, right, can sit there and say a whole bunch of different shit, and they contradict himself, and cats are still gonna run with that because they hate somebody else so much.
Yeah, and
doesn't
it's
make any
stupid.
sense.
Like it doesn't. That's the thing that's killing me is I don't, like I said, man. There's always a level of fucking right and wrong, whether you like someone or you don't like him. Like I don't like Oscar De La Hoya, but I've defended him.
Yeah.
Okay, I've defended him. Hell, I don't like Timothy Bradley. Somebody y'all know how I feel about Bradley. I call him Timothy Beardsley, or no, I call him Timothy Sadley. But when somebody asks me, should he get in the Hall of Fame? I say yes. What that motherfucker did at 140, yes.
Oh,
hell
yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely, he should get in the Hall of Fame. You know what I'm saying? So that's the problem is, like you said, and that's the problem with boxing is boxing. And shout out to my man Big Cool, 3kingsboxing.com writer, lead journalist who did his video, and I agree with him in his video is motherfuckers got this division going on in boxing where you got to pick a side. I don't ever remember boxing being like that. Ever remember being like that.
All right.
We never had
it's whenever the networks took over. Then you got networks that are aligning themselves with promoters and shit like that. Motherfuckers are sitting there like, oh man, well I fuck with HBO. I fuck with Showtime. Man, they got Gennady Golovkin over there. I fuck with them.
Mm-hmm.
That's the problem. So, and whenever the networks took over and whenever the promoters started aligning with the networks, that's when the fans started aligning themselves with particular entities. It was never like that, bro. They would align themselves with the fighter itself. The promoters never got this much attention in the past. Now it's all about the networks and the promoters and who's fighting for who and who's fighting for what. That shit is fucking ridiculous and it's stupid as fuck. And actually, to be honest with you guys, you see, the fans that act like that are the reasons why we don't get the fights we want. Because you're willing.
You took my point. Yeah. You took my.
They're willing to make excuses for the entity that they align themselves with every time they fuck up. Like right now, Bob Arum is clearly fucking up. And hey, Bob Arum's a cool dude, you know. Bo enjoyed a picture with him.
I talked to him. I talked to him for like about 2 or 3 minutes.
He's a cool.
I was talking to him.
Bob Arum is cool. He's a cool dude. You know what I'm saying? So this is no knock on Bob Arum. We met the guy, but the fucking problem is he's clearly bullshitting y'all and trying to get y'all to think a certain way because he's desperate.
Yes.
He don't have no welterweights.
And the tables are turned. See, the tables is turned.
Yeah, the tables are turned, right? As much as Terence Crawford has done at 140, that shit ain't translating to 147. Okay? It's not translating to 147, right? Then you got Errol Spence, who just had a big pay-per-view. Right? He had a huge pay-per-view. They got to compete with that shit now.
Yes.
So the tables have turned. And he's in a situation where not only if Terence Crawford's numbers with Amir Khan don't fit in the ballpark of what Errol Spence have done, let's say Errol Spence did 350K. I can't fucking remember, but it was over 3, right? Let's say they did 350K. Terence Crawford got to do 290. You know what I'm saying? It's still under that, but it's in the ballpark. You see what I'm saying? If he doesn't do in the ballpark of what Errol Spence has done with Mikey Garcia, right? If he didn't sell as many tickets in the ballpark, because I think AT&T Stadium holds more, right? So they might. I got to check on
some odd people.
Yeah, I got to check on that. But if he doesn't sell,
I can tell you it holds 50,000 people. I know that's named after my job. That motherfucker, that bitch the reason why I took a pay cut. That motherfucker's 50,000 people.
Word up. Hey, shout out to my Brazil, man. I ain't seen baby girl in a long time. That's what's up. 386K. That's what she said. So let's say Terence Crawford, Amir Khan, 290, 300, right? If they're not in that ballpark, dog, B-side. Because this is welterweight. You see what I'm saying? And I remember when they put the rankings up, the welterweight rankings, they had Errol Spence at number 1, Terence Crawford at number 2, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And a lot of cats were like, well, how the fuck can Terence Crawford be number 2 when he's higher than Errol Spence in the pound-for-pound rankings? Because pound-for-pound encompasses what Terence Crawford has done in the sport as a whole at 140, 147, 135. Exactly.
His entire body of work.
His entire body of work. The welterweight rankings are what he's done at welterweight only. That's why Errol Spence is ahead of him. All right? Now, that is a question that you guys can fucking argue about later. I really don't care about the welterweight rankings. I only care about pound for pound, right? Now, a lot of people, some people might say, hey, Terence Crawford has a better resume than Errol Spence at welterweight. Other niggas might say Errol Spence has a better resume than him. Whatever. It doesn't fucking matter. At the end of the day, that's how they rank it, okay? Plus, when you look at A side, B side in this particular matchup, right? If Terence Crawford's numbers ain't in that ballpark, man, Errol Spence is A side.
And mind you, this is second pay-per-view. This is second pay-per-view.
This is Crawford's second pay-per-view. The first one was Victor Prochnow.
Yeah. So if his second one don't do good, if his second one barely does as good as the first one, like you said, that's B side all day.
Right. So the thing is, Errol Spence got the upper hand, not even at the negotiation table. He has the upper hand with his fucking career right now, right?
Yes.
Because he could fight any of the other top welterweights because they're under the same banner. Terence Crawford can't do that, right?
No.
Terence Crawford right now is looking at Kell Brook, and we'll get to that in a minute.
Yes,
They're looking at that. We'll get to that in a minute, though. Matter of fact, that might be the next topic. Fuck it, I already spilled the beans. You know what I'm saying? That might be the next motherfucking topic. But what I'm saying is, they looking over there, right? Ejidijus Kavaliauskas was the #1 contender by the WBO. He just had a draw with Ray Robinson. That fucked everything up, right? Kavaliauskas is a good-looking European cat. Good-looking dude. He's a good-looking dude in the ring. You know what I'm saying? Looks really good. But he had a draw with Ray Robinson. That was his coming out. He was supposed to smoke Ray Robinson, look real good on television, right? That was going to be Terence Crawford's possible next opponent because he would have had some buzz. Instead, he had a draw. That fucked everything up. So they can't take the Kavaliauskas fight unless the WBO mandates it, right? But the WBO is Bob Arum's. That's Bob Arum's fucking organization. So he might be able to pull some strings and say, don't mandate it yet. We can't fit the bill on that particular fight right now. You know what I'm saying? We can't fit the bill on that particular fight. Right. So you got Kavaliauskas, Kell Brook, and that's pretty much it. It's thin for that nigga, bro. So Bob Arum is desperate. He's putting a lot of attention on Errol Spence and Al Haymon, trying to basically damage that relationship, or at least damage how the fans view that relationship, so that the fans can protest into making them give Bob Arum that fight. I'm telling you, that's what it is. Business 101.
Well, here's the thing, and I want to address my man JD. He said Eric Molina. He was talking about Eric Molina. He said he's promoted by Don King, and you might be right there. But he said this: Arum is wrong for the racial statement, but right when it comes to in-house fight priorities from PBC at 147. Yo, JD, the problem with that statement is that's what Arum has done his whole career. His whole thing with Manny Pacquiao. How many outside fights outside of Top Rank did Manny Pacquiao have?
Man,
how many outside fights of Top Rank did Timothy Bradley?
Fuck that. Don't even move from him. Manny Pacquiao fought Timothy Bradley 3 times and Juan Manuel Marquez, what, 4?
4 times.
Come on. That's 7 in-house fights with the same fucking fighter.
Yeah. You know, so I'm just saying, how many Top Rank is the epitome of in-house fights, but they all do it. Why? Because if you have the fighters to help build your fighter, that's what they all do. They're trying to build their own brand. So Bob can't get mad if, hey, I got the horses at 147 and you don't. He can't get mad at that. Why? Because when he had it, that's what he did. He did the same thing. So he can't get mad at that. But on top of that, it's the reverse situation of Deontay Wilder and Joshua. Me and my man talked about this one time. Wilder needs Joshua a lot more than Joshua needs Wilder. Why? Because Joshua holds 3 belts, which means he got mandatories of other 3 positions and the ranking system of other 3 governing bodies. Wilder only has 1. And the reality is that's the same situation you have right here. Errol Spence has better options. And I've said it then, I'll say it now. So if Errol want to collect the other 2 belts before fighting Crawford, I have no problem with that because that's what Joshua got to do. Joshua and them wasn't even talking about fighting Wilder until he picked up that WBO belt from Joseph Parker. When he first got the IBF, what they do? They fought Vladimir Klitschko for the WBA. After he got that, what they do? They fought for that WBO. So they was able to gobble up all them belts. Then look over to fight Wilder. Same situation here. Hey, man, if I can get my guy to gobble up 3 belts, make him the main man of the division. When we sit down at the negotiation table, it's all the way. It's Oscar De La Hoya for Mayweather time. I want this.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Story. At the end of the day, Al Haymon can stick his middle finger up at Bob Arum because Bob Arum is the guy that is at a loss here. He has no fucking welterweights, at least no top welterweights. No. He doesn't have any. So he's the one at a loss here at the end of the day. That's why he's talking about boycott PBC. That's why he's putting all this energy into this shit so that the fans can actually go at Al Haymon and Errol Spence, turn them into villains, and try to get them to feel guilty into giving Terence Crawford this fight. It's exactly what they're doing. I mean, look.
Hold
up, bro. I'm looking at Manny Pacquiao resume right now. Hold up, nigga. 2011, Juan Manuel Marquez, in-house. Let's move up. Tim Bradley, in-house. Juan Manuel Marquez, in-house. Brandon Rios, in-house. Timothy Bradley Jr., in-house. Chris Algieri, in-house. Hold up. Floyd Mayweather Jr., the first out of the goddamn house fight, right? But then they go back in-house.
Yep.
Timothy Bradley Jr. right after that. Right after that, Jesse Vargas, in-house. Jeff Horn signed a co-promotional deal with Top Rank before that fight. In-house.
Yeah. Before that Pacquiao fight, he signed. He sure did.
All them goddamn in-house fights. And hold on, Bo.
What's his name?
Hold on, Bo.
Joseph Parker did the same thing with Andy Ruiz.
Hold on, Bo. Goddamn, nigga. All them in-house fights with Manny Pacquiao. All them in-house fights with Manny Pacquiao. That's just one fighter, fam. I could go through the rest of these niggas. You know what I'm saying? So while you talking about how PBC only has in-house fights when they fed Charles Martin to Anthony Joshua. Who else did they feed, Bo? I'll let you have that one. Go ahead. Who else did PBC feed to outside fights? Outside fighters.
Oh, it's about Dominique Brazzelli.
Yeah, Dominique Brazzelli.
When he fought
Anthony Joshua.
Anthony Joshua, Dominique Brazzelli. Oh shit, dog. Plethora of them. Amir Khan, Josecito Lopez, because both of them guys fought Canelo Alvarez.
Yep.
Dominique Wade fought GGG.
John Molina Jr. John Molina Jr. fought Terence Crawford. Felix Diaz fought Terence Crawford.
Yeah. Leo Santa Cruz fought Frampton. Actually, what's his name fought that Don King fighter? One of the Charlo brothers fought that Don King fighter. Was it Charles Hatley?
Oh yeah, Charles Hatley. Yep. I mean, right. we can kill this. It's already dead, bro. We done with that. It's already dead, bro.
But you know what though? At the end of the day, let me just say this: I have really no sympathy for none of these promoters, right? Because they're in the business to make money, and when they're in a position of doing something, they make. I have no sympathy for none of them. But let me just say, I especially have no sympathy for Bob in this case because you just killed the rematch of Wilder versus Fury. You killed
exactly.
It. So you can't scream to me foul play when you just killed a rematch that was signed, sealed, and delivered, then came and said this exact words was, we want to give Tyson Fury 2 more fights to build his base here in the US. That's what your words.
Yep.
So
exactly.
I'm sorry, dog. You can't do that, then scream this over here. And then when he screams it, fans can't be giving him a pass on that, man. You can't do that.
My man Too Tough said Wilder and Stavern. Yep. PBC and Don King at the time.
Don King. That's right.
I mean, Al Haymon has had a bunch of out-of-house fights, man. Come on, man.
Good point, Corey. They fed Gary Russell to Loma. I forgot about that one.
Sure did. And that was Gary Russell at the time where motherfuckers was saying, I mean, let me say this. The detractors were saying Gary Russell was only a B, C level fighter. But the real pundits were like, Gary Russell's an excellent fighter. He's going to be a champion one day. Al Haymon said, here's Loma. And then, of course, when Loma beat him, the detractors are like, oh, my God, Jared Russell's an A-plus level fider.
Oh, yeah, man. Nigga
went from C level to A-plus overnight. Come on, man.
That was sad, dog. Yeah, so yeah, listen, we could definitely kill that, man.
It's already dead. It's already fucking dead. Look, my man Too Tough, Adonis Stevenson versus Gavatic. We getting help, and we don't need it.
Dude, Mosley. Shane, hold on. Somebody mentioned Shane Mosley. Shane Mosley case is the saddest of them all, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because Shane Mosley had to give up his shares of Golden Boy to get the Pacquiao fight. See, people forget it was Shane Mosley, Bernard Hopkins, and Oscar. They was all had shares in running Golden Boy. Shane Mosley had to sell his stake of Golden Boy for the fucking Pacquiao fight. That shit was that was the worst.
Yeah.
Then wait a minute. You talking about not just making in-house fights, the concessions these motherfuckers made. Both Oscar De La Hoya and Miguel Cotto. Cotto was the champion and had to do a catch weight with Pacquiao. Yeah. He was the fucking champion that had to do a catch weight. He had to give up his A. He was not even the A side. Shit, man, I'm done, man.
Well, I mean, like I said, we already murked that shit, dog. Hold on. Hold on. I mean, the Texan said, laugh out loud, one dislike probably came from that Gary Russell thing. Now, it came before that. It came from the Bob Arum pulling the race car title. Probably some racist motherfucker around here on the YTBC cam and hit that dislike. It's all good. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? We
it's
ain't
all
worried
good.
about that. But my thing is this. Where's the fucking outcry at, dog? Where's the outcry, Bo? Let me just say this, man. And this pisses me off, man, because it makes us sound like we're aligning with somebody. We're not aligning with fucking nobody. Okay? If Al Haymon would have came out and said, yeah, you know, Bob Arum don't want to work with black fighters, we would have murked Al Haymon on that. Because the niggas, one of his top fighters is black. You know what I'm saying?
Not just that, he's made fights with Don King. He's made, so you can't you stop.
Right. We would have got it. We would have got Al Haymon. But Al Haymon ain't the motherfucker out here saying stupid shit. It's Bob Arum right now. So we getting on his ass. So where's the outcry, dog? And what I mean by that is, I'll just go back to my previous statement. If Al Haymon came out here and said this same shit with the roles reversed, bruh, you can't find Al Haymon. Motherfuckers only know what he looks like in pictures. I think there was one incident where they showed him on camera going to Floyd Mayweather's locker room and shit, gave him a hug.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
I forgot what fight that was.
Honestly speaking, before I saw that, I actually thought the pictures was like, I don't know if that's him or not.
Yeah,
they showed him doing that right there.
They had that one situation where he was in Floyd Mayweather's locker room. He gave him a hug and shit. It was like, oh, damn, that's Al Haymon, nigga. Damn, the moon is red right now. You know what I'm saying? But if he would have said some shit like this, bro, they would have found where this nigga's at. Like automatically, information would have got found. They would have put a noose up out in front of his motherfucking lawn and hung this nigga. You know what I'm saying? They would have done it,
I'm telling you, man. Dog, social media would have went berserk if they'd have went berserk if he'd have said that, man.
So where's the fucking outcry?
I can't believe he said that. We can't have race in boxing. Boxing's not about race.
Yeah.
We never would have heard the end of that shit.
Oh, they would have been killing that. There go them Negroes with the race card again. You know, that's what they would have said. But when Bob Arum says it ain't got nothing to do with the race card, you know what I'm saying? Let me tell you this, man. A lot of niggas try to downplay this shit. You know what I'm saying? Motherfuckers is downplaying it. Oh, yeah, I saw what he said. You know, it's just Bob Arum. So I expect the same treatment then. If Al Haymon came out and said this shit, I expect the same motherfucker to be like, yeah, it's just Al Haymon. Fuck out of here. That's my problem I got with boxing sometimes, man. You know what I'm saying? Now, I can sit here and pull the race card here, but I won't. Don't need to. Y'all know what it is. You know what I'm saying? If it ain't race, then it's hate. Either one you want to pick is still wrong. You're still aligning yourself with certain entities to the point where you don't want to call out when a motherfucker's fucking up. You don't want to call out when somebody's acting desperate, right? You don't want to call that out because you're aligning with them. It's bullshit, man. And you know what's funny? It falls right into what we talked about on episode 19 about Bob Arum. It's beautiful. I mean, we just be proving these niggas right. We just prove them right every episode we do. Prove them right. You know what I'm saying? I see certain people not in the chat right now. Probably saw the goddamn title and said, man, they're not about to kill me again. Fuck out of here, man. Fuck out of here, man. This is too easy, man. Give me something difficult. This is too goddamn easy. Let's go to the next one, man. Bo, what we got, bro?
Man, Anthony Joshua addresses Jarrell Miller. All right. If you don't know, go to 3kingsboxing.com or 3 Kings Boxing on Facebook, where you get all this information that we're talking about, baby. So Anthony Joshua, he goes live on YouTube. And what up, Mike? What up, Corey? 3 Kings Boxing in the house. Yeah, Mike, he up his usual shenanigans, man. So Anthony Joshua, he addresses Jarrell Miller. And man, you know, I'll be honest with you, man. The message he said was better than what I'd have done. You know what I'm saying? He said, hey, I'm not gonna kick him while he's down. But you know, he had that phrase what he say, cheaters will always come out, but the hustlers and workers will always rise.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not gonna kick him when he's down, but the landlord is still coming to pay rent. The fight gonna go on in June. And he told Jarrell Miller, mama, but if there's anything I can do, let me know. Right.
Right.
And to me, I was like, all right, because it's better than me. Because I'd have been like, yeah, you talking all that shit, homie. What the fuck? What the fuck? Up here selling my goddamn name. You know what I'm saying? I guess that's just that British in him. He's being a gentleman. Because they always would tell you how boxing is supposed to be a gentleman's sport, which I've never known nothing that requires me to hit another motherfucker viciously hard, gentleman like about it. Yeah. But okay, right. So he was being nice about it. But I will say this. I do like the fact that to a certain degree, he is taking a more of a higher road or a more moral ground about it, because it is fucked up. It really is. I mean, 3 failed drug tests. It's like, damn, man, what the fuck was you thinking here? 3 failed for 3 different substances: GW 1516, HGH, and EPO. Like, dude, I mean, you was trying to kill yourself.
Like they found more GW 1516 in the 3rd test. It was EPO and more of that shit of the GW 1516, bro. Listen, Anthony Joshua was a gentleman until the end of that video. Then that nigga said, yeah, you know what I'm saying? I still love your moms and shit. Mrs. Miller, if you ever need me to do anything for you, baby, I got that big motherfucking, you know what I'm gonna say next, baby. That shit was funny as hell, bro. I was like,
because Big Baby made a comment about Joshua's mama,
right? But the funny thing is, Big Baby can't do shit about this. He got to take that. You know what I'm saying? Listen, man, this is the problem, and I really wanted to put this in the title, but that was only gonna be like a minute to talk about. What I want to talk more about is Jarrell Miller's credibility, bro. You see, you got other fighters out there. Let's just use Lucas Brown and Alexander Povetkin, right? Both of those guys got caught, fell in 2 tests within a span of 8 months, right? I believe Povetkin was 6 months, and then Lucas Brown was 8 months, right? Both of them were able to come back. One noticeably different. I mean, look at Lucas Brown, bro. This nigga look like he be at the table eating 15 loaves of bread with biscuits and gravy on the side, nigga. You know what I'm saying? He eat that shit every day for training camp. Dude is fat as fuck now. He is the epitome, the quintessential representation of a motherfucker that gets his pads taken away from him. Because if you remember what Lucas Brown used to look like, he was in shape. He was fit. You know what I'm saying? Now he's a big fat motherfucker. Right? Now, with Jarrell Miller's credibility, what I mean by that, my Brazil, is this. A lot of people were riding with Jarrell Miller because he was a guy that seemed to have a lot of confidence in himself. He was a guy that can motivate himself and rise his game. You know what I'm saying? He was a guy that was the wild card at heavyweight. Now, a lot of people used to say, he ain't really fought nobody, but people still kept Jarrell Miller in the back of their minds. They talked Tyson Fury, Deontay Wilder, Anthony Joshua, Luis Ortiz, and Jarrell Miller would always be top 5. He would be. Okay? He would be that other guy that could possibly pose problems in the heavyweight division. But now he done failed 3 fucking tests. And ironically, those 3 tests proved to be PEDs that help him with the very thing we've had questions about. How is this big ass Shaq Wan ass nigga, but only 6'4", able to go 12 rounds without getting tired? Well, now we know. You know what I'm saying? Now we know. So that's the credibility that I'm talking about. Are people now going to understand that, oh shit, he was taking GW 1516, which single-handedly helps endurance? Now we know he ain't going to have his pads no more. He might be another Lucas Brown. Fat, sloppy, you know what I'm saying? On some nutty professor shit. Real talk. On some big mama house shit. He going to look like both of them niggas put together. You know what I'm saying? He ain't got his pads no more. Is that a credible statement, bro? Can I say that there's a possibility motherfuckers are going to say, hey, he's no longer relevant because he don't have his pads. Is that true?
No, that's very much well true, especially when you're looking at the pads he take, like you said. He failed 3 different pads. One, HGH, human growth hormone. We know what that does for you. It bulks you the hell up. Another one helps you with your damn stamina. I don't know what the fuck EPO do. I mean, what the hell, emissions? He's trying what the fuck he's trying to pass emissions or whatever the fuck it is. But the bottom line is, when you take 3 different types of PEDs, failed 3 different drug tests, you absolutely fucks up your credibility and damn near falls on being irrelevant. And I said this too. The way that man apologized told me he did some soul searching and he changed. And I always say this, when a fighter tells me, oh, you know, I've changed. Like when Manny Pacquiao was talking about something, I've changed, you know, I've turned over to God. I said, yeah, he's about to get knocked the fuck out. Because for a fighter, when you mentally change yourself for a fighter, you take away whatever that edge was you always held mentally that pushed you to that next level. When Chad Ochocinco did that shit when he went to the page, he said, I had to change who I was. Yep, and that's the reason why that nigga was irrelevant that whole goddamn season.
Well, I mean, this fighter wasn't a world beater by any means. I mean, he did beat my man Ivan Robinson and fucking Arturo Gotti, but Angel Manfredi, he did that.
Yeah,
he turned the
sure
guy.
Did. He ended up getting that, and that's when Floyd knocked him the fuck out. And he suffered a couple more knockouts after that. Okay. And when fighters do that mental check, that damn man, I have to do this. It's one thing to say, hey, I need to change this and change this and change that. But when you do that mental check, okay, that you trust me, you own your way to being knocked the fuck out. I saw that shit when Kovalov was about to fight War that second fight, and he was doing all this shit he never did before. He was doing training stuff that's not even part of boxing, some kind of conditioning that's not even part of boxing. I said same thing Robert Guerrero with CrossFit. I said, man, that shit ain't gonna prepare you for boxing. You mentally change. You about to get your ass knocked out. About to get your ass fucked up. See? Right. And that's just how it was. So he mentally had to change. That apology, dog, this was a nigga that was hurt. This was a nigga that felt, damn, I've been exposed as a fraud. This is what it is. Now, because of it, he now knows I can't come back being boisterous, talking shit. I can't.
Exactly. And that's what I was getting at. That is a major point right there. That's what I was getting at. Yep.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So at the end of the day, and I've said this, I said, you know, I personally think, and me and you talked about this, I personally think Jarrell Miller is most people who talk, okay, you have to back that talk up. And some people who talk, I'm not saying all, but you got some people who talk, and when shit gets real, like when that talk finally gets them what they want, they panic. They don't know what to do. Like, oh, wait a minute, I didn't think it was gonna go this way. I'm not ready for this. So that pressure becomes too much for them. Because now the talk can't, see, the talk is only to get you in that position. The talk ain't to motivate you to actually deal with that goddamn pressure. It's just to get you there. Now he got him there, and all that pressure came on, all that pressure hit him. Now he's like, okay, I gotta make sure I can back this shit up. I can't go out here and look bad. I can't go out here and get my ass completely whooped. So that pressure got to him, and just what the motherfucker did because of that goddamn pressure. I mean, and that's what happens most of the time when cats talk.
Well, and that's where we disagreed. I don't think it was the pressure. I think that is Jarrell Miller's character. Understand, he's one of those loud, boisterous ass niggas that always run their fucking mouth at the playground and shit in front of everybody. And then, you know, he intimidates the guy because he's running his mouth so much. So when everybody leaves, he tells himself, damn, dog, thank God you intimidated that motherfucker, because, man, I don't know if I was ready, bro. Yo, one day we gonna have to back up our talk. Man, give me these pads, nigga, so I can be ready for that day. You know what I'm saying? That's Jarrell Miller. That's his character. We've known plenty of motherfuckers like that. You know what I'm saying? Plenty of motherfuckers like that. The loudest nigga in the room is usually the most insecure. Straight up and down 100%. So that's all this did for me was confirm that Jarrell Miller was insecure about himself. You know what I'm saying? I don't think it had anything to do with the pressure because, in my opinion, he had been doing this shit. Just like Deontay Wilder said a few years ago, that he knew that Jarrell Miller was doing this shit. He had an inside connection.
Yeah, that's right. He sure did.
So Jarrell Miller had been doing this shit. And like my man said, Adam Kalinowski might be doing the same goddamn thing, right? Because they're in the same gym and they homies. You see what I'm saying? He been doing this. So he's been insecure. To me, it don't have nothing to do with the pressure. It's about his insecurities. Now, my thing is, you made the good point. That's the point that I wanted you to touch. I didn't want to touch it myself. I wanted you to get that, and you did it. Jarrell Miller can't come back the greasy nigga he was before.
No, he cannot.
You can't, bro. You can't. How does he? Okay, if he does this, he will be officially the heavyweight version of Adrian Broner without taking a loss. Because nobody really, let me say this, a lot of people didn't really believe the hype to begin with. There was a lot of people that did, then there was a lot of people that didn't. Now with this drug test shit that's going on, right, or at least the failed drug test, now you got all the people that did believe the hype moving on over to the same realm as the people that didn't. Now you got way more motherfuckers to prove to than you did previously, right? So at that point in time, now it's like niggas ain't gonna believe a goddamn thing you say when you come out there. Yeah, Jarrell Big Baby Miller. Nah, nigga, it needs to be just Jarrell Miller. And you need to become proper. Yes, this is Jarrell Miller. I'm really excited for my next fight. Praise God and thank everybody who's going to be there. How many people we got for this fight? 6 people bought tickets. Oh man, I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful for those 6 people because this is a second chance. It's something I never thought I would ever get. That's the type of Jarrell Miller I need to be hearing from now on until you beat somebody of note. See, before we was letting you get away with beating washed up fighters like Tomez Adamet, right? We was letting you get away with beating fucking Bogdan Dinu, right? Because that intrigue was there. You was a big nigga that could move around the ring and never got tired. The intrigue was there. But now we know why you could move around the ring at your weight and why you never got tired. And now we know you ain't gonna have that opportunity to boost yourself to be able to do that anymore. Now it's like, shit, nigga, hey, you better do the same shit you was doing before or else. That's what it is now. It's funny. That boy in a fucked up situation, man.
Well, he's in a fucked up situation now because this is a very unique situation because no one has ever had 3 failed in a row for the same fight with 3 different substances. Okay. And this ain't a situation where we talking about the B sample. No, we're talking all A samples. Okay.
Yep.
So he's in a fucked up situation because people might not want to touch him.
Nah, bro, they don't want it.
May not want to touch him. It might be 2, 3, 4 years before somebody even decide. And then on top of that, like somebody mentioned on one of our other shows, he ain't got that Rob Bensky money backing him.
No, he don't.
Got that.
No, he don't. That nigga got simple as Eddie Hearn backing him, who is always going to back Anthony Joshua at this point in time.
See, I'm glad I didn't want to say it. I'm glad you said that because Eddie Hearn's biggest earner, because somebody said something about how come Eddie Hearns didn't protect him. Number one, it's not Eddie Hearn's job to protect the motherfucker. You should the motherfucker just shouldn't have did it. Like when you say shit like that, it pisses me off. Like, what do you mean Eddie Hearn protect him? He just shouldn't have fucking did it. That's number one. But number 2, that's not Eddie Hearn's biggest earner. I don't give a fuck if Jarrell Miller pops.
Oh, man, listen, I told cats when Jarrell Miller signed with DAZN, he was supposed to be a opponent for Anthony Joshua down the line. I'm telling you, man, y'all need to listen to the show, man. I be telling niggas what is about to happen, and the shit comes to fruition. You know what I'm saying? I told cats right after Joshua beat Povetkin in September of last year, I said the next opponent for Joshua is Jarrell Miller. I said it at that moment in time. I did a video and said it. And niggas like, it ain't gonna be no Jarrell now. Who he beat? Who he beat? Like that matters still, nigga. That shit don't fucking matter no more. Niggas is moving pieces and shit. You know what I'm saying? It's business now, dog. Right? I told niggas he was gonna be the next fucking opponent, man. So when he signed with DAZN, his business for being there was to be an opponent for Anthony Joshua later on down the road. That's what he was there for.
Yep.
He was never there because Eddie Hearn thought he was going to be some top-level motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? He was there to lose to Anthony Joshua. Now, if he would have beat Anthony Joshua, then he still keeps the money in-house. Right? he still keeps the unified champion in the house. He still got him if he fucked around and beat him.
And then there would have been a rematch.
And then there would have been a rematch, and it would have been a big ass fight, bigger than the first one, much bigger than the first one. 2 times, 3 times, 4 times bigger than the first one. If Jarrell Miller would have won that. So I mean, it's business, man. Come on, man. You know what I'm saying? Let me get to these comments real quick. A lot of niggas. Me, Brazil, Jarrell, baby, fat back Miller. Hell yeah, you cut some of that fat off and put that shit right on the grill, bro. Here we go. The Texan, he was probably convinced by some of those bodybuilders he hangs out with taking a combination of 3 substances will be mass that went downhill. Yeah, for sure, for sure. I think Corey said up top, he said, or it was Cheetah Head. Cheetah Head said this motherfucker was taking everything. Yeah.
Yeah.
GW 1516, HGH, EPO, LSD, Viagra, nigga, Cialis.
You know what I'm saying?
That nigga went to the drug dealer. That nigga went to the drug dealer and said, nigga, just give me the concoction, nigga. Give me the mystery drink, nigga.
Right. Give me everything on the top drawer.
Nigga said, man, we got this for 400, this for 400. This. He said, nigga, just give me all of it, nigga. Put it in one vial, all of it. That man, dog, he was tripping. He was really trying to get the head, bro.
He was, dude, you tripping. This nigga was drinking hot toddies and shit. He was trying it all. That motherfucker.
Word up, bro. Hell yeah.
That motherfucker, yeah. What's that shit they used to do back in the day when they used to say that song, sipping on that syrup? He was doing all kind of
sipping on that syrup. Yeah, that's exactly what that motherfucker was doing, bro.
Hell yeah, he lacing the weed and shit. Was doing
that nigga was never getting tired, and he had a hard dick the whole training camp.
No shit.
You know what I'm saying? My man in Texas said, I think Michael Hunter jumps in. I agree with that. Yeah, I think it's gonna be Michael Hunter, man. I really do believe that. It is what it is, man. At the end of the day, I'm not gonna fault Anthony Joshua for not fighting anybody people want him to fight. This is Jarrell Miller's fault. Just like I did not fault Gennady Golovkin for fighting anybody he wanted to fight, which ended up being Vanez Martirosyan. Now, what I did hate is that HBO allowed Vanez Martirosyan on a 2-year layoff to move up to 160 and fight Gennady Golovkin. I hated that, but at the end of the day, it was Canelo's fault.
Derevyanchenko.
Right, Sergey Derevyanchenko. Yeah, they wouldn't sanction it. He was the IBF mandatory, exactly. But at the end of the day, it was Canelo's fault. So I didn't give a fuck. Whoever the nigga could have fought motherfucking Kimbo Slice, nigga. My nigga. You know what I'm saying? Could have fought Bo's homeboy, Bo Kimball. You know what I'm saying? Any goddamn body. Harold Miner, nigga. I don't give a fuck. It wouldn't have mattered. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It was Canelo's fault. Same thing here. This is Jarrell Miller's fault. So whatever we get, and it's a bullshit ass fight, everybody needs to point their fucking fingers at that big fat ass nigga from Brooklyn. Straight up and down.
100%, man. Prodigy, what you got for me, player?
Man, Shawn Porter out here in these streets. That boy Shawn Porter talking about, man, ain't no choice. I gotta fight Errol Spence Jr. Now, if y'all haven't checked the interview with 3kingsboxing.com, shout out to my man Rick Muhammad, Brawler Sports Media, in association with 3 Kings Boxing. He interviewed Shawn Porter. I can't remember what the post fight. I think it was what post fight was that, dog? I can't even remember.
Hold on.
I want to say it was Keith Thurman, Josecito Lopez, right?
Yeah.
Maybe it was after that. I think it was after that.
Okay.
I think it was after. I can't fucking remember. But it was one of the post fights that happened recently. Interviewed him. Basically, he said, Shawn Porter was like, I'm waiting to see what Errol Spence does on Manny Pacquiao. Yeah, it had to be after that because Errol Spence had already beat Mikey Garcia.
Right.
So he said, I'm waiting to see what Errol Spence does with Manny Pacquiao. Right. Now, we all know by now, Manny Pacquiao he signed with Rizin to fuck around with some dumbass event this month. Then he's already in negotiations to fight Keith Thurman. Right. So we know Manny Pacquiao's not fucking with Errol Spence. But at that time, we didn't know that. But Shawn Porter was like, if Manny Pacquiao ain't talking about it, which I don't think he is, he said at that time, I think Manny Pacquiao is going to go for Keith Thurman. The only fight there is to make is Shawn Porter versus Errol Spence. And he said at that time, I think it's going to happen July or August. Fast forward to today, he's now saying, oh, there's no other fight out there. It's got to be me versus Errol Spence in August. And by the way, I'm willing to go to Texas to take that fight. Now, remember, This is the same motherfucker over a year ago that said, Errol Spence, man, I ain't trying to fight that motherfucker, man. I'm trying to get a rematch with Keith Thurman. I'm trying to get the WBC belt. You know what I'm saying? I need a year for Keith Thurman before I even look at him. You know, everybody was clowning the fuck out of Shawn Porter saying he ducked the hell out of Keith Thurman, right? You even got cats on here putting pressure, unnecessary pressure, by the way, on Shawn Porter, Kenny Porter, Shawn Porter's trainer and dad, right? Putting unnecessary pressure on Kenny Porter to the point where the shit was highly fucking unprofessional. You know what I'm saying? So you had a lot of that shit going on. But now it seems like Shawn Porter is legitimately ready to fight Errol Spence. What do you think about this, Bo?
Well, I remember when Shawn Porter made the statement. I'll never forget that. When they was talking about Spence, he said, okay, well, I wasn't talking about Spence last year, the year before that. So remember he made that comment. He said, you know, it's been like almost 3 years. I ain't mentioned nothing about Errol Spence. I've been doing my own thing. But
yeah,
I think that what Shawn Porter has realized, and I think that what he wanted to do first was he wanted to get back to being a champion first.
Word.
And once he grabbed that belt, okay, now he's like, okay, now I'm a champion. I got the belt. I got some power at the negotiation table. I can get a guaranteed amount of freaking money. Now it's worth something for me to fight Spence. Cool. Now I want that fight with Spence. And I think that's the mindset. The problem is, a lot of these guys don't articulate what they want to say very well, which makes them like when Keith Thurman, who said, it's not on my to-do list. It's just not on my to-do list. And then now he's saying, hey, when I first saw her, I said, how you doing, Earl? I can't wait till me and you meet up and scrap. Nice to meet you. He said that's what he said the first time he met him. Now, whether that's true or not, I don't know. But when you say what Keith said, which is, it's just not on my to-do list. What do you mean it's not on your to-do list? Motherfucker breathing down your neck calling you out. You at least got to say, hey, listen, man, I'm going to fight him, but I got some other things I got to take care of first. Like the one thing I'll give Ahern and Joshua is they said, well, listen, when it comes to Wilder, yeah, we do want that fight. We're going to make that fight, but we got other things we got to deal with the mandatories and all that. But we do want the fight. Perfectly said. You're not saying you don't want to fight, and you letting everybody know you got other things you want to do first. Keith Thurman didn't say that. Keith Thurman said his exact word is not on my to do. It's just, and he was adamant. It's just not on my to do list. Like, why the fuck is you asking me? Okay. And that made him look bad. And then when Shawn Porter did what he did, when he said, well, I mean, you look back 1 year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, I wasn't calling Errol Spence because, you know, I was trying to do this and do that. So I didn't have Errol Spence on my radar. I was doing other things. So now, like I said, he got a belt. And then what did Shawn see? He saw Earl do 386 pay-per-view buys. He saw 47,000 motherfuckers, okay, come and see him. And he saw Mikey Garcia, whether you want to talk about the fight or not, which, by the way, nobody better ever tell me shit about Mikey Garcia, because at least he took his ass whooping like a man and shit. All right? He took that whooping like a man. He didn't look for the first opportunity to get the fuck out. But Shawn see dollar signs now. See, this is what Shawn sees now. He sees dollar signs now. He said, man, me and Earl could do a pay-per-view. Hell, me and Earl could even do the pay-per-view in Texas, not in Ohio, in my backyard. In other words, I'm conceding this motherfucker's the A side here. I'm conceding that. I'm already conceding, hey, man, this is the A side right here. Right? Because even in the article when I wrote it, he said, well, you know, that's how negotiations go. We don't always get everything we want. So he already said, listen, I'm conceding you're the A side. Why? Because of the fact that if I fight you, I'm going to get probably the most money I ever got, and I'm going to get a taste of pay-per-view.
Right.
And I know I can't top that because I fought Danny Garcia and it didn't do shit like that, like what you did with Mikey Garcia. I fought Danny Garcia. That shit wasn't a pay-per-view, okay? And it didn't put 47,000 motherfuckers in the seats. Right. So this is and most of the time it takes money to make these fights. Let's just keep it a buck. Big fights, it takes money to make these big fights. And let's just keep it 100, y'all. It takes big money to make these big fights. And Shawn sees it and he knows it. He said, man, title versus title. Shawn Porter does have a very aggressive come forward style. Now, what I don't like is he thinks that the way he boxes Ugas is another repertoire he can have to fight Errol Spence. I think because Errol Spence ain't Ugas. He hitting you to the body, motherfucker. He keep coming. He ain't gonna stand away for you to come at him. He gonna come at you. Right. But I still think that if we get the Shawn Porter reverse to not backing up and Errol coming forward, it'll make for an excellent fight. And Shawn knows that, man.
I want to address something real quick. My man Too Tough in reference to the last topic, he said, no, it was Munguia they didn't sanction. Sergey, he declined to face Vanez, talking about Triple G. This is what happened. We actually put the article up on Three Kings when this happened. So you're right. They did. HBO did say they're not going to sanction Haymon Munguia at the time. Nobody knew who Haymon Munguia was. This was before he actually fought Saddam Ali. But the situation with Sergey Derevyanchenko, the IBF was putting pressure on Gennady Golovkin to fight him. Right? Gennady Golovkin declined. They ultimately ended up stripping him. But HBO came out later and was like, well, we weren't going to sanction the shit anyway.
Anyway, yeah, right. They wasn't going to pay that fee. They're right. They wasn't going to pay that fee. And that's exactly. They didn't want to put up the money because once Canelo pulled out, they had all this extra money.
Exactly. So they felt.
Yeah, go ahead.
They felt like they wouldn't have got a return on their investment.
Yeah.
And that's why HBO declined to sanction that fight as well. So that's actually what happened, Too Tough. And that article's up on Three Kings, by the way. You got to go search for it, though, man.
Right. No, you're right about Haymon Munguia. They the governing sanctioning bodies didn't want. I think matter of fact, they might have even been a commission that was like, "Nah, man, we're not sanctioning that." Nobody knew Haymon Munguia was. He never even fought for a title before.
Right.
And then you're right, they did do that. But also when it came to Sergey Derevyanchenko, that's why I say HBO. They was like, "Man, we're not even going to pay the fee."
Exactly.
So because we got all this extra. Matter of fact, what fight did they make? Was it Rumfasai in the start? They put money into another fight that they had left over from that, and I want to say I think it might have been Rumfasai in the Strata.
Yeah, because they had the Superfly 2 or I think it was 3 or 2. I can't remember.
Yeah,
what card that was. Yeah,
they poured the money they had left over into that.
Right.
So
yeah, and that's why a lot of people had some outcry about Triple G getting stripped because they're like, well, HBO said they wasn't gonna fuck with it anyway.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
If he would have even said he was going to fight Sergey Derevyanchenko, what network would he have fought on? Because he has a contract with HBO. So that's why it was kind of like, a lot of people were mad about it. It made sense, you know what I'm saying? But Daryl Peoples don't fuck around, man. He don't give a fuck about the logistics that gotta come in place for you to get something done. He's like, nigga, this is what I said. hey, you already know what I'm about to say, bro. You already know what I'm about to say. Hey, I thought you told me to come at 3 o'clock. I'm gonna give a fuck what I said, nigga.
Fuck what I said. Minister society.
Exactly. That's what Daryl People said. I'm gonna give a fuck what I said, nigga. Yo, but
Daryl People is that one dude that you be like, yo, man, take this motherfucker, this big bag of money. He said, nah, man, that ain't gonna work, man. That's Daryl Peoples. Oh.
Hell yeah. Oh man, but nah, referencing Porter and Spence, man. See, this is another example of what we talked about in the Bob Arum topic, man. Errol Spence has so many options, don't even matter, bro. Listen, Terence Crawford and Bob Arum, if Al Haymon and Errol Spence, out of the goodness of their heart, don't just say, fuck it, we'll give them the fight. They gotta cross their fingers that the other top welterweights will duck Errol Spence. They gotta cross, and even then, Errol Spence can look at the IBF and fight his mandatories. You know what I'm saying? Even then, he can go that route. So, and it probably won't do as much, but at this point in time, Errol Spence is a bigger entity at welterweight than Terence Crawford is. You see what I'm saying? So that's what I'm talking about, man. Like, he can fight Shawn Porter and become unified champion. He beat Shawn Porter. He can actually fight Keith Thurman, come, a 3-belt unified champion.
And mind you, Bob is talking fight Crawford and 50-50 split too. And that's another thing. See, so to your point, you fight Shawn Porter. Ain't no 50-50 split talk no more, motherfucker.
Right, exactly. He could fight Shawn Porter, get that belt, fight Keith Thurman, get that belt, become a 3-belt unified champion. Manny Pacquiao, if he still has a WBA regular, he could fucking fight him if Manny Pacquiao takes that fight. So that's 3 fights right there that Terence Crawford has to wait out to see who he gonna fight next in that whack-ass WBO ranking system. That's what I'm saying. And he's not going to 154 because I asked Terence Crawford myself on a conference call. I said, yo, would you ever go to 154? He said, probably not. I'm not even thinking about that right now. So his thing is, I'm at 147, right? So what you gonna do? Go back down to 140? I told Bo, man, we talked about this privately. This was the dumbest decision Terence Crawford made to re-sign with ESPN, knowing that welterweight was on lock by PBC.
Mm-hmm.
Knowing that welterweight was on lock by PBC, and knowing that his intentions are to campaign at welterweight. He's not going back to 140. He's not going to 154. His intentions are to campaign at welterweight. So why would you sign with an entity that has no welterweights? Doesn't make any sense unless he had the mindset of, well, shit, I could just beat up on anybody that Bob Arum gives me, and I really don't give a fuck about fan reaction. I'm still getting my money. That's the only thing I could think of. He still got his guarantee. He still has his guarantee. So he's like, yeah, y'all can get me Ejidaius Kavaliauskas, Amir Khan, whoever else you find, in the dumpster. Bring that nigga out. You know what I'm saying? I'll fight him. I still get my guarantee. That's Bob Arum that's got to make a fucking return on his investment. That's the only thing I can think of. Why he would re-sign with Bob Arum at welterweight. It doesn't make any sense to me. But, yeah, man, I really think Shawn Porter's serious, bro. And I think Shawn, like you said, Shawn Porter sees an opportunity to make more money he's ever made. You know what I'm saying? Fighting Errol Spence. The statement that he's ready to go to Texas. Now, of course, anybody says anything, you got to kind of take it with a grain of salt, not necessarily be like, oh, man, Shawn Porter said this. But at the end of the day, you got to look at the landscape at 147. If he really wants a big fight, who is he going to fight? He's not fighting Keith Thurman next. That's not going to happen. Keith Thurman's already talked about either a tune-up, and he's in negotiations with Manny Pacquiao. That's not going to happen.
That's not going to happen.
Danny Garcia is interested, but Danny Garcia just fought. Shawn Porter's looking to come back in a couple months, right? There's nobody else. Dennis Ugas rematch. You don't want to go down that road no more.
Hell
around, lose his title.
Hell
I'm saying? I'm sure he could find somebody to defend the title against in the WBC, but that's not going to be as lucrative as getting a fucking unification bout with Errol Spence. You see what I'm saying? So I think he's telling the truth. You know what I'm saying? Whatever my man Texas said, laugh loud. I don't know, man. I think it's going to land in Texas, considering Shawn already made a comment on it. Yeah, it probably will. Probably will. Things go differently when they sit down at the negotiation table. And then they start putting out different things that Shawn Porter's not going to get control of, and hey, you're not going to have this, you're not going to have that. Well, Shawn Porter might pull back on that and say, well, fuck it, I won't go to Texas since you ain't going to give me this. You see what I'm saying? So who knows? When they get to the negotiation table, things might be differently. You know what I'm saying? But I at the end of the day, I think he's serious about this, and he has to be. And he said there's really no other fight. I kind of agree with that, man, when you look at it. Bo, what you got for me next, man?
Man. Ladies and gentlemen, the Queen.
Oh, yeah.
Has spoken.
Yeah, we must speak in a respectable fashion.
Yes.
For the beautiful
the Queen. For the undefeated, undisputed, long-reigning welterweight champion, Cecilia Braekhus. She has accepted Claressa Shields because this is Claressa.
Yeah.
Okay. Got to get ghetto when we talk Claressa.
Yeah.
Challenge. Cecilia Braekhus has said that she's willing to fight Claressa Shields. Cecilia Braekhus said that they have to be reasonable, that maybe they can meet in the middle at 154, and she would love to beat Claressa motherfucking Shields.
Yeah, you got to change your voice for that rugged ass nigga. You know what I'm saying? That's a rugged ass nigga right there, bro. You got
listen. I rewatched the Hammer fight, right? Claressa was in the corner. And she told John David, she said, that bitch got a mean jab.
Nigga, I told her in our fucking interview she had a mean jab. She was like, well, I like to see her hit me with it.
Oh,
like,
man.
She gonna hit you with it.
She said she was talking to Johnny. She said that bitch got a mean jab. He said, man, sometimes it's like, sometimes she pawning, sometimes it's like, woo. He said, but I'm trying to knock it down over. He said, that bitch got a mean jab.
Yeah, she do, man. I told her that shit.
So it's funny because when I heard her say it, I immediately thought of you. I said, man, 2K be killing me. I be talking. But you know what? I like this. And I knew Cecilia Braekhus would do this. And especially when Claressa put out, I'll go down to 154. And Cecilia said, sure, okay, fine, I'll go up to 154. So I knew she would accept this. I knew she would do it because the reality is, even though Cecilia Braekhus has been the champion for as long as she's been a champion, it still probably will be her biggest payday in a woman's fight to fight Claressa Shields.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And that's just the reality of it. That would be her big. Just the reason why Christina Hammer jumped at the fight. This was her biggest payday. Like, because nobody really even knew Christina Hammer was the long reigning champion 8 years at the middleweight division. Same thing with Hannah Gabriel. Nobody knew that she was a long reigning champion at 154 pounds. So she's jumping at this because this would definitely be her biggest payday. And I mean, listen. I love me some Cecilia Braekhus, but she's starting to be on the downside of her career. She doesn't move as much as she used to. She's a step slow. She got rocked and dropped once and rocked and hurt real bad by Callie Reese. You know, so she sees the writing on the wall. And then, like you said, the last woman she fought is like, you know what I'm saying? It's like the last woman she fought was like, what is this? So yeah, I'm excited about it when it happens because I can't wait for us to do the breakdown because I know what I just said, but she's still an undefeated long reigning champion with a whole lot of fucking experience. Like, you can't pour Christina Hammer's experience in a cup, and no, fuck the cup, the top of the bottle. You know, when you take the top bottle off a pop, you can't even pour that experience in a top bottle of what Cecilia Braekhus got when you compare it to Christina Hammer. So I'm excited about it, man. What you think, man?
Yeah, I'm excited about it too, but man, I wish I was a part of her, you know, her PR team or her management team. That's what I want to say. I wish I was a part of it because, you know, I would sit her down. You know, we would have a dinner together. You know, I pour her a glass of champagne and shit. You know what I'm saying?
What the fuck? Hey, wait a minute. What the hell?
My bad. Hold up. I kind of went left there, nigga. Let me get back on topic.
I'm like, wait a minute, what the hell?
Let me get back on topic. My bad, nigga. My shit just ran wild for a second. Let me get back on topic. The point I was trying to make was, I would be like, that's a tough fight. At 37 years old, and you're trying to go to 154, I believe, for the first time, bro. I believe this would be the first time she goes to 154, dog.
Yeah, the first time she's ever done anything outside of 147, if I'm not mistaken.
Right. We'd have to do a little bit of research on that. You know what I'm saying? But you're trying to go to 154, and you're trying to fight a girl that is much bigger than you. Mm-hmm. We're talking a girl that actually campaigns at, realistically, 168. She walks around 180 pounds, B. You know what I'm saying? Cecilia Braekhus probably walks around at best 155, 160. She's one of those fighters that's in shape year round. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think she even touches the 160 mark, Cecilia Braekhus. So you're talking about fighting a girl who is currently campaigning in a weight division that you don't even walk around at, right? Now, the one thing that I could say that will be in her advantage is that we don't know if Claressa Shields will respond well at 154. And that's exactly what Too Tough just said. He put in the chat right before I said it. That's the anomaly here. More so than Cecilia Braekhus just moving up one weight class, right? Because Claressa's actually moving down 3 weight classes or 2 weight classes. So can she actually fight effectively at 154 without killing herself? You know what I'm saying? That is a question. Now, Clarissa's like, what, 23 years old? Something like that?
Yeah.
It's possible. She's still a very young person.
24. You know? I'm sorry. She's 24.
24. It's very possible. She's still young. She can still shed the weight, get down. You know, you can make those changes to your body at a young age without any type of drastic consequences. You know what I'm saying? Cecilia Braekhus can't, not at 37. You know what I'm saying? So that's going to be the anomaly. But at the same time, the way Claressa Shields fights, I don't see Cecilia beating her, dog. Now, Cecilia actually, said that Christina Hammer had a piston-ass jab. The jab was ridiculous. Cecilia Braekhus' jab is better than Christina Hammer's. But as Bo mentioned, she sits in the pocket now more so than ever. She's not moving as much as she used to. She would literally have to revert back to her old self, bro. And she hasn't been her old self probably since, I would say, nigga, and Sophie Mathis in 2016.
When she knocked out in the first round?
When she knocked out in the second round.
Second round, I was just thinking that myself.
Yeah, because even when she fought the girl from Denmark or Sweden or whatever, Svensson, I can't remember her first name, but the Svensson chick, I think she's undefeated at 1 loss. She was even fighting her in the pocket, man. You know what I'm saying? That was the very next fight after Mathis. So I don't know, man. Like she would have to literally revert back to 2016 Cecilia Braekhus. I'm not sure if she can do that, man. You know what I'm saying? So I'm telling you, man, like if I ever have a conversation with Cecilia, you know, and you know, I'm we're talking, my shirt is off. You know what I'm saying? I'm flexing my pecs.
Hey, you getting off topic.
Damn, my bad, bro. My bad. What I'm trying to say is
you mentioned this shirt being off while I'm on this mother. God damn.
What I'm trying to say is basically I'd be like, this ain't the best fight for you, but I can't sit there and talk her out of greatness. This would be even bigger than Christina Hammer and Claressa Shields. It'd be bigger than that. You know what I'm saying? This is a fight that you talk about. 2 undisputed champions in 2 different weight classes actually met in the middle and fought each other, bro. When was the last time we seen that in men's boxing? I'll wait. We could barely get a fucking undisputed champion in men's boxing, let alone have 2 undisputed motherfuckers at the same time meet in the middle and fight each other. So yeah, man, it's a tough situation, and Clarissa's out there. I mean, Cecilia's out there saying, "I'd love to fight Claressa Shields." This is what she said in the interview with TMZ.
Yeah, she said, I look forward to beating her.
Yeah, she said, "I would love to beat Claressa Shields." She said, "Her boxing ability is excellent. I can't wait to get in the ring with that." That was what she said. You know what I'm saying? But I'm like, I don't know. If she does it, she better do it now before she turns 40 or something, man. That's the only thing I can say, man. It is what it is, man. We're going to go on to the next one.
What you got for me, Prodigy?
My man. Yo, I'm starting to like this nigga, man. Even though I can't stand how this motherfucker fights in the ring. It's like he's on a goddamn skateboard and shit. But he is quietly turning in one of the best resumes at heavyweight, and that's Dillian Whyte. Dillian Whyte versus Oscar Rivas. Listen,
that's a good ass fight, man.
People not talking about it, Bo. Dog, this is a major fight, man. This is a major fight, dog. Dillian Whyte could get beaten in this fight, man.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying?
He very well might get beaten,
bro. He might. Fight. I'm kind of leaning towards Oscar Rivas, man. I'm leaning towards Oscar Rivas, bro. You know what I'm saying? It's not because we interviewed the nigga. Shit, I don't even know what he said the whole interview. You know what
I'm saying? Funny. I didn't think about that. Yeah, you right.
Nigga, I only know English. I don't know what the fuck he said. He could have been. Look, I don't trust Bo that much. Oscar Rivas could have been like, yeah, in Spanish, look at this bitch ass nigga holding the camera. And Bo would have laughed. Yeah, that nigga is a bitch ass nigga, ain't he? I wouldn't even know. I would have been laughing at it. Yeah. Hell yeah, I am, huh? Wait, what? Oh. So shit, it ain't because I was involved in an interview with the nigga. I don't know what he said. Listen, I'm looking at amateur pedigree. I'm looking at what he brings to the table stylistically. I'm looking at his last fight. I'm looking at this motherfucker got all this momentum behind him, right? This is a tough fight for Dillian Whyte, and it's another tough fight. You know what I'm saying? He's won 9 in a row, correct?
I think so.
9
yeah.
in a row
Since losing to Joshua. Yeah.
Since losing to Joshua. I don't care what anybody says. David Allen, that was a tough fight. He was undefeated. You just saw David Allen knock out Lucas Brown in this past weekend. That was a tough fight. Only fights David Allen has lost to was Luis Ortiz and Dillian Whyte. That was a tough fight, right? Derek Chisora twice. Joseph Parker, after he lost to Anthony Joshua, where he's like, yo, I'm trying to get back on the scene. He's taking tough fights, man. Fights where we could be like, damn, I don't know if he's going to win. You see what I'm saying? Now, David Allen wasn't like that, but it was still a situation where he fought a young, hungry lion who was undefeated, who could hit hard as fuck. right? He could have made a mistake in that fight, got caught, and got knocked out like he did against Anthony Joshua. You see what I'm saying? But in terms of fights where we looked at who fights he was in, and we're like, damn, man, I might be siding with Dillian Whyte, but this is a tough fight. Derek Chisora twice and Joseph Parker. And now you got Oscar Rivas. He's taking tough fights like a motherfucker, man. This nigga is the MIP, most improved player in boxing since losing to Anthony Joshua, bro. You know what I'm saying? Most improved player. He fuck around and get MVP, nigga, if he keep fighting these niggas, bro. And my argument here is, listen, Dillian Whyte has been #1 contender by the WBC since he defeated Robert Hell Anus. Okay? We talking almost 2 fucking years, bro. You know what I'm saying? Almost 2 years, right? I pulled the rankings. Almost 2 years. Now, I was an advocate for Deontay Wilder when Eddie Hearn was trying to throw Dillian Whyte at Deontay Wilder when Wilder was going after Undisputed for Anthony Joshua for Undisputed. I was an advocate of Deontay Wilder saying, fuck Dillian Whyte, nigga. Why would I fight the nigga whom I'm trying to fight had already beat? Why would I do that? You know what I'm saying? So I was an advocate for that. But then after a while, it was like, all right, Deontay, you gotta fight Dillian Whyte, bro. You know what I'm saying? The nigga's sitting at #1 contender, holding the WBC silver title. You gotta fight the nigga, bro. He's beating all these dudes. He's taking tough fights and winning those fights. You gotta fight the nigga. Actually, I figured he was going to fight him next, right? But instead, the WBC mandated a fucking fight with the guy that is ranked lower than him. #4, Dominic Breazeale. Why would you mandate Dominic Breazeale and tell Dillian Whyte to go fight Luis Ortiz? That makes no fucking sense. He's been sitting in the #1 position for almost 2 years. Why didn't you mandate him? That's what you're supposed to do, is mandate the #1 contender, right? But you tell the #1 contender, hey, nigga, we gonna mandate the #4 and you gotta fight the #2. What? I'd have said no to that shit too if I'm Dillian Whyte. You got motherfuckers out here saying Dillian Whyte ain't fighting the people WBC say to fight. Nigga, I would have said no too. I've been sitting #1 for fucking years. Nigga, give me my goddamn title shot, nigga. Why you giving this fat titty having ass nigga that got knocked out by Anthony Joshua already? I mean, I did too, but that's not the point. I rebounded better than he did, correct?
Yeah.
So why am I not getting it, dog? And I'm ranked higher, and I have a belt, an interim belt. I have two arguments, Bo, that could be in my favor for why I should be fighting Deontay Wilder next. I got 2 arguments: WBC silver champion and #1 contender. What the fuck? You see what I'm saying? Right. So if Dillian Whyte don't get a title shot next, bro, I'm going in. I'm going in, bro. And if you don't know what it sounds like when I go in, go check out them Prodigy Speaks videos. I'm going in. You know what I'm saying? I will say Deontay Wilder's ducking Dillian Whyte. And that's something I would never have said years ago. But if he don't fight this nigga next and Dillian Whyte beats Oscar Rivas, I'm going in, bro. What do you think about this, bro?
I think if you're gonna go in, you got to go in on both of them, Deontay Wilder and Anthony Joshua, because the reality is, I think Oscar Rivas is higher ranked in the WBO than he is in the in one of the other organizations.
Well, he's top 5 in all 4. So
is he? He's top 5. Okay.
Don't even matter.
Yeah, right. So yeah, it won't even matter, man. So the reality is this, man.
Hold on. Before you start, Too Tough said Dillian Whyte turned down 3 shots at the title.
Yeah, he did. Remember, he was ordered to face not at a title, but he was ordered to face Kubrat Pulev for the IBF mandatory. He didn't fight that. Right. And then it was oh man, what was that? Oh, the one with Luis Ortiz.
Okay, my argument is I don't give a fuck about IBF and I don't care about WBO. I said WBC. He is listen. Dillian Whyte won the WBC interim title in 2017. He was number 1 ranked by the WBC in 2017.
Yeah, and like you said, I think was that when he beat Helenius?
Yes.
That's when he beat Helenius. I remember that.
I don't care about the other sanctioning bodies. I'm talking about the WBC. And the reason is because they mandated a number 4 fighter. How do you not see that?
Man, not only they mandated number 4 fighter. Remember this. Here's the thing. He fought 2 eliminators for the WBC.
Right.
He fought 2 eliminators for the WBC.
He's the number 1 contender with an interim title. And they mandated the number 4. When the fuck does that ever happen? The only time that happens is if the number 1 is already scheduled to fight somebody. Then they'll look down and say, well, we'll either mandate 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever. Right? Dillian Whyte wasn't fighting anybody. He was open. And they mandated the number 4.
Yeah, they did. They mandated. Well, here's the thing, and Tough, you got to understand something. Because Tough is saying, but if Whyte deserves the title, a shot at a title, he had 3 chances and turned it down, though. No. Here's the reality of it, though. He had been sitting in that position before, like the Kubrat Pulov one with the IBF. Now, I even said, you know what, he might want to take down, but he was already in a top position with the WBC. Okay. Then you say, okay, well, you got to fight Luis Ortiz. No, I had 2 previous title eliminators. I already had 2 previous title eliminators. Why I got to fight Luis Ortiz?
Exactly. Nah, okay? Man.
So I understand that, but what my man's saying is, you saying Brazzelli is explainable. No, Brazzelli isn't explainable to me when you got a motherfucker sitting at number 1 for over 2 years.
Sitting at number 1 for over 2 years with the interim title.
So Brazzelli isn't explainable. Brazzelli, that's not explainable to me.
How is that explainable?
That's like just I mean, hell, even with Tyson Fury. Remember that they ordered the rematch with Wilder and Tyson Fury. So Dillian Whyte been getting screwed over for quite some time. And I'm not sitting to defend him because I'm not a big fan of Dillian Whyte's either, right? But because I said before, I said, man, Dillian Whyte is up here playing blocker for Anthony Joshua, and man, know, but
Dominic Breazeale only won 3 fights since losing to fucking Anthony Joshua, right? Eric Molina, Carlos Negron, and Izu Aganu. Those are the only 3 fights Dominic Breazeale won since losing to Anthony Joshua, okay? Dillian Whyte won 9 fights. 9, including a fucking former world champion. What the fuck?
And Joseph Parker.
What the fuck? This is common sense. If you don't see this, you're biased.
But hold on, let me get to the fight. Because the thing is this, though, that Oscar Ribas is not only a good fight, it's a dangerous fight. It's a fight that he could possibly lose because Ribas is not a Lucas Brown. He's not a Derek Chisora. Ribas is skillful. We definitely know his boxing ability is higher than anybody Dillian Whyte faced whose name is not Anthony Joshua. Okay. And in that fight with Brian Jennings, he proved that he could knock you out late in the 12th round. Right. So this is a very dangerous fight for Dillian Whyte. And if he wins this fight, I agree with you. If he's not next in line for a title from either Wilder or Anthony Joshua, yes. I don't want to see. I think too many times, man, too many times people get caught up in what happened back then or what happened back then. Listen, I know he turned down because I was the one who got into a huge argument with our former partners about this whole situation, right? So I understand it, but simply just because them circumstances happened, it doesn't excuse what I'm looking at right now. And what I'm looking at right now is a guy that's ranked number 1 in WBC and WBO and being completely over fucking looked. That's wrong. Regardless of how you fix it to me, that's just fucking wrong, right? But now he's fighting Oscar Ribas, If he beats Oscar Rebus, and Oscar Rebus is top-notch quality, this is a quality opponent. He beats Oscar Rebus, another guy that's ranked high in all 4 sanctioning bodies. Yeah, man, he deserves the title shot.
All right, so Too Tough is saying when Povetkin was mandatory and popped, he was supposed to face Stavern, then failed again, then made Stavern mandatory. Stavern was number 1, not mandatory, because when Povetkin popped, guess who Deontay Wilder fought? I'll give you a couple seconds. I already know the name, but I'll give you a couple seconds to put that in the chat.
Jarrell Washington.
No, it wasn't Jarrell Washington.
When Povetkin popped?
Yes, it wasn't Jarrell Washington. I know exactly who it was. I'm gonna let him answer that one though, if he's still listening.
Well, I know. Yeah, you know what? You're right. Stavern wasn't mandatory.
He wasn't mandated.
They was waiting for Stavern, because remember they wanted Stavern to fight Ortiz for mandatory, and Stavern was like,
no, not there. No, that's who Stavern fought. I'm talking about Wilder. Okay, Wilder fought what's his name? Chris Arreola.
Sure did. That's right. Damn,
actually, Chris Arreola wasn't even fucking ranked in the top 10, bro. And what they did was they pulled Carlos Takam out of the top 10 and inserted Chris Arreola, and then said, "Hey, here's your next challenger."
Right, but no,
more fuckery.
Yeah, but
the WBC.
Right, but that's the Stavern thing, and I remember that because they wanted Stavern to fight Ortiz for the interim title and mandatory status. And Stavern was like, "No, I'm not fighting Ortiz. Y'all got to make a decision. This motherfucker pop. Y'all got to make a fucking decision." And he didn't fight Ortiz. So Stavern wasn't mandatory. They later named him mandatory later on. They like the following freaking year. They later named him that, but then that's when Stavern was going to step aside and let Wilder fight Luis Ortiz. And then Ortiz popped and he wound up fighting Bermain Stavern. So yeah,
I mean, even the whole situation with Bermain Stavern being the mandatory after he only had one fight
and Derek Ross
when losing to Deontay Wilder, that was fuckery.
Yeah, it was.
Right? And then kudos to Deontay Wilder. He said, "Man, fuck Bermain Stavern, man. I'm not fighting that nigga. Give me Luis Ortiz." So kudos to Deontay Wilder there, but he needs to do that here. Okay? You're saying that the eliminator for Dominic Brazil, right? He fought in an eliminator. Dillian Whyte had fought in an eliminator as well. The fucking Robert Helenius fight was an eliminator.
Fought 2 of them motherfuckers, man.
Right. Joseph Parker fight was an eliminator. Okay? When you're holding the interim belt, you already are that motherfucker that's supposed to get the shot at the title. You're already in that position. And I actually remember when the WBC named 2 fucking mandatories. They named Dillian Whyte and Dominic Brazil. And remember, they tried to get those 2 guys to fight to see who the true mandatory is.
Yeah. I remember that. Yeah.
And then that shit ended up not coming to fruition. So instead, they said, "Nah, we gonna have Dominic Brazil be your mandatory." You know what I'm saying? That's dog. The silver, when I say interim, that's the same thing, bro. Silver interim titles are the same thing because they both are a ticket to a title shot, man. It's the same thing. Now, if you want to get technical, the silver is actually more credible than the interim. If you want to get technical. So I'm actually downgrading his accolade. But it's actually the same thing in our eyes because it's the ticket to get to the title shot. So when you're not the number 1 contender and you're holding an interim belt, you can leapfrog the number 1 contender. That's how that works, man. Not only is this nigga the interim champion or the silver, he is the number 1 contender. There's no fucking getting around this, man. None. Now, in terms of what you're saying, King had him named Mando.
No, he didn't have him. No,
he wasn't Mando yet.
He wasn't Mando yet.
Hold on, bro. He didn't become Mando until after Arreola, bro. That's what we're trying to tell you. Because if he was Mando, then they would have said, "Hey, fight Stavern." They wouldn't have taken Carlos Takam out of the rankings and inserted Chris Arreola and said, "Fight him."
Yeah.
Why would they do that if they already had a mandate? If they already had a Mando, that makes no fucking sense. It was after Arreola, dog. Come on, man. We do this shit for a living, brother.
No, I mean, I know what he's saying. It's just that, for me, it doesn't really matter. All of that don't make a difference. It's what boxing is about. What have you done lately? And here lately, these are the things that Dillian Whyte has done. And if he beat Oscar Rebus, regardless of all that past shit, he deserves a title shot, regardless of all that past shit. Like that's what I'm like. For me, all this is just table talk until dinner gets to the table. Right. Because at the end of it, it doesn't matter about all of that stuff in the past. We could go back and forth and punctuate and it don't matter. If he fights Oscar Rivas and beat another top 5 in all sanctioning bodies fighter, then yes, he deserves a freaking title shot. That's all that's how I look at it, man.
So he said Povetkin was versus Deverne was for interim because Wilder had already hurt his arm versus Areola and was gonna be out till 2017. Yeah, I mean that's after Areola is what I mean. That's fine.
Yeah, we know that.
We know that. What we're trying to tell you is the Mando didn't happen until after Areola
fight. Right.
That's what we're telling you. That's why that's why they inserted. And Chris Areola, there was a lot of uproar with him being Wilder's next fight because he hadn't won a fight. He had a draw with Travis Kaufman.
Yeah.
So people were like, why the fuck is he fighting Chris Areola? If that was the case, they would have just said, hey, fight your Mando, Bermain Stavern. He wasn't the Mando yet.
No, he wasn't. That's all we're saying. Nobody's saying you're wrong. Because I even said that when
I'm saying he's wrong about that.
But no, I'm saying when Povetkin pop, I remember specifically Bob Arum them wanted them to make Stavern just hand Stavern the belt. And they was like, no, we're not gonna hand you a belt, man. I tell you what, fight Luis Ortiz. Stavern's like, no, I'm not fighting Luis Ortiz, man. Y'all gotta make a fucking decision.
Right.
And I remember that. And it was like he said, it was after the Areola fight. That's when they finally, which was the following freaking year, they didn't name him in that year because it was. I think that was that 2017?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, right. So they didn't name him the Mando that year. They waited until the following year, then named Stavern, because if they'd have named him the Mando that year, it would have meant okay. That whole 1 year you gotta fight your Mando and all of that. So they waited till the following year to name that motherfucker the Mando. And I remember that was after the Areola fight.
The Mando situation didn't come into play until before Deontay Wilder was trying to fight Luis Ortiz.
Right.
And that's, he was trying to get that fight. And then WC was like, hold up, nigga, we got a Mando for you.
Yep. Yeah. And that's when Don Kingdom made a deal, a backdoor deal, and what you call it was like, no. And he's like, no, motherfucker, that ain't gonna happen. Then it finally wound up happening. And because and to your point, when Ortiz popped, that's when he had to fight Bermain Stavern because why? He was the Mando.
Well, let me ask you this. Because, Too Tough is saying that he knows that he was named Mando after Povetkin pop. Why didn't the WBC mandate the fight then? Why did the WBC say, all right, here you go. Chris Areola, here you go. Why did they do that, man? What is your rationalization for why they would give him Chris Areola, a guy who just came off of a draw, instead of mandating Bermain Stavern if he was actually the Mando? We'll wait. We're gonna be quiet until you comment, because I want to hear your rationalization on that. Makes no fucking sense. But I mean, if you can rationalize that, make it make sense, then we cool. I'd be cool with that.
So you're saying that when Povetkin popped,
let me say it. When Povetkin popped,
right?
When Povetkin popped, the WBC pulled Carlos Takam out of the rankings and added Chris Areola.
That's what we said.
That's what we were saying. Too Tough.
Stavern wasn't Mando to after Areola. That's what
we're saying to you, brother.
I was saying he wasn't Mando to after Areola.
Right. All right. So, point is, Dillian Whyte better get a goddamn title. I don't give a fuck who it is. He better get one next. You know what I'm saying?
I agree with you on that one, man. But I just don't know if he beat Oscar Rivas. That's a tough fight.
I know, man. And that's one of the biggest reasons why I think he should. I mean, I don't see Deontay Wilder fighting an Oscar Rivas right now. I definitely don't see Anthony Joshua fighting an Oscar Rivas right now. Remember in our interview, he called both of them out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
called all three of them motherfuckers. He won all three. He won that smoke.
Right. So I mean, I never saw neither one of those guys going after an Oscar Rivas. Luis Ortiz ain't said that about no fucking Oscar Rivas. You know what I'm saying? Nobody was talking about Oscar Rivas, but Dillian Whyte said, fuck it, I'll fight him. Come on, man. Nah, man. He needs a title shot now. And a WBC title shot. You know what I'm saying? My man Weed Degree said Whyte versus Rivas, Whyte sleeps the Colombian. We'll see.
We'll see. Shit.
Oh, yeah, you're right. You're right. Too tough. He sure did. My bad. Kubrat Pulev did call out Oscar. He actually said before he fought Bogdan Dinu, he said he wants to rematch with Oscar Rivas because he lost to Oscar Rivas in the amateurs.
In the amateurs, he sure
yeah.
did.
Yeah, so you're right about that. All right, man. What you got for me next, Bo?
Well, man, you already touched upon it. I don't know why I'm gonna bring this up. I should actually skip the topic, but man, Bob Arum is out there in these streets.
In these streets.
Saying that, man, there's a possibility Kell Brook, who said he wants to fight Terence Crawford next, he said that's a possibility for a next opponent for Terence Crawford, provided that, we can't get down set up with Errol Spence next as the next fight. Is this a desperational move for Bob Arum to be considering a Kell Brook? Now, let me just say this. Kell Brook is probably just as much, if not more damaged good than Amir Khan. Okay? Both of them did not look good in their last goddamn fight. All right. And not to mention Kell Brook at 154, his ceiling is extremely low, because when you look at the top brass at 154, he ain't beat none of them. His only hope is now that Haymon Munguia has left, maybe he could fight for that vacant belt.
Right.
But now the question begs is, does he try to make Kell Brook and Terence Crawford a pay-per-view fight? It's okay, man. What do you think about this, man?
Did you just say pay-per-view?
Yeah, I mean, he did it with Khan.
Hell no. Nigga, this ain't even a Cartoon Network fight, nigga. You know what I'm saying? This ain't even, bruh. Listen, man. Oh, man, dog. Again, I'm not even going to address how bad this fight is. There's some people out there that actually like this fight. Hey, I respect the opinion. It is what it is. But for me, the way I seen Kell Brook look against Michael Zarafa, the fact that Kell Brook has 2 fucked up eye sockets, man. Like, once you break those type of bones, man, they'll never be the same. You know what I'm saying? They recover. They end up recovering, but they'll never be the same, right? And you've got a top brass fighter who knows things like this, who's smart enough to exploit something like that. You know what I'm saying? This might be a worse fight than Amir Khan. And another thing, Kell Brook doesn't even know what weight class he wants to campaign at, because he can't even fucking. Exactly, Gary, my man said they should pay us to see that bullshit. Exactly. Kell Brook can't even make weight. He was supposed to fight at 147, right? Then he said, fuck it, I can't make weight no more. I'm going to fight Brandon Cook at 154. He fought the other guy first. I can't remember his fucking name right now. But he fought him. Then he was going to fight Brandon Cook at 154. Couldn't make weight. They rescheduled the Brandon Cook fight. Couldn't make weight again. So they canceled it. Brandon Cook ultimately ended up fighting Haymon Munguia, got knocked out, right? Then you got him, he failed a drug test, got suspended by the WBC, got taken out of the rankings. Oh, no, he didn't fail a drug test, sorry. He didn't sign up with VADA. That's what it was. He didn't sign up with VADA, got taken out of the rankings, signed up with VADA, got put back in, but still said he's having weight issues with trying to go back down to 147. Went to Amir Khan and said, we need to catch weight. Remember this? He said, we need to fight at a catch weight. But then he said, fuck it. I'll fight at 147. You know what I'm saying? But you got to allow me a rehydration clause of X amount of weight. So Kell Brook doesn't even know if he can even fight at 147 right now, bro. Because his weight fluctuates.
Mm-hmm.
Why would I trust him in a fight against the pedigree of a fucking Terence Crawford? At least Amir Khan was active. He was actually campaigning at 147. He wasn't moving around all these fucking divisions, right? He looked like shit against Sammy Vargas, but shit, Kell Brook like shit against Michael Zarafa. Right? So that's what I'm saying. Like, bro, it's really the same kind of fight. Why would I watch Amir Khan quit against Terence Crawford and then say, man, I can't wait to see him fight Kell Brook? What? I'd rather see Ejidais Kavaliauskas. I'm serious.
Yeah.
I'd rather see that fucking fight. At least he's undefeated and he's still in his prime. He hasn't gone through a whole bunch of bullshit. You know what I'm saying? To where we don't know what Kell Brook we're going to get. We know what Kavaliauskas we're going to get. Whether we think he wins or fucking loses. We know which one. The best one he has. The best version of himself. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So, I mean, hell no, I ain't trying to see this bullshit, man. And it's definitely, like I said earlier in the podcast, they're desperate, man. They have nobody else, man. That's why Bob Arum is confirming he's possible. And he confirmed he was possible right after Kell Brook said he wanted to fight next. That's why he was in attendance. Bullshit, man. They're desperate. And it's funny. Listen, man, I want to see the fight. I want to see the fight. Nah, David Avanesian is supposed to be fighting Josh Kelly. I want to see the fight. You know what I'm saying? I want to see Bud versus Spence next. But I'm going to sit back and laugh if Al Haymon throws up that middle finger and says, we going to fight Shawn Porter or we going to fight Keith Thurman. Or we going to fight whoever the fuck else we going to fight, bro. Because all that shit you just talked. Now you got to find opponents for Terence Crawford. Credible ones, too. Not no bullshit. He fuck around and lose his number one spot to Lomachenko. Shit, if you ask ESPN, he already did.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He already did. So, man. No, I ain't trying to see this bullshit. It's definitely this is a testimony, right? This displays how desperate top-ranked Bob Arum are. Most definitely. This next one, man, we're going to revisit some. Bo wanted to do it.
Damn, don't say it. Damn, okay. Damn.
Bo wanted to
tell me how you really feel. Shit.
Amir Khan quitting in this fight. Now, I feel him, though. I understand why he wanted to revisit it. There's a lot of people out there that, and it's not just UK guys, by the way. It is more UK motherfuckers, 90%, probably 98% UK motherfuckers. But I've seen a couple motherfuckers that are from America and other places that are giving Amir Khan excuses. Actually, I got into, not an argument, but a little debate with the trainer for Von Alexander, who's Devin Alexander's brother. What's his name? Ronald Harris? His name's Ronald Harris.
Mm-hmm.
And me and him debated. And Ronald Harris was basically saying, well, you know, you can't really get mad at Amir Khan because, you know, it's the fighter's discretion whether or not he wants to fight. You know, he's not soft because he realized in the ring that it was too much for him and he had to pull out. And my argument is, as the next fighter, and I was surprised that a trainer was telling me this. My argument as a next fighter is, well, when I first walked into a gym, you know what I'm saying? One of the first things that my trainer told me was, you go out on your shield. You fight until that fucking final bell rings, right? You fight until I say you can't fight anymore. That's what a trainer tells you. And the reason why the trainer tells you that is because they're trying to, it's the same thing as if you go to the Marines. You're a civilian, right? But then when you get in the Marines, they train you to be a killer. They talk all this shit to you. They devalue the importance of family, right? So you don't think about that type of shit when you're in battle. You see what I'm saying? They devalue you as a person so that you only visualize yourself as one thing, and that's a killer, right? Now, boxing isn't that harsh. You know what I'm saying? They won't devalue your family. They'll tell you to use that as fuel. But what they do is the same kind of somewhat brainwashing, and that might be a harsh term to say, but it is kind of that, Bo. They want you to keep or at least develop the mindset of a fighter. Mm-hmm. When you develop the mindset of a fighter, right? Most civilians are afraid to fight. The fear that they have to fight someone, they end up not wanting to fight, getting punked and shit. All that happens, right? But the fear that a fighter has, because the trainer has properly groomed him to become a fighter, he uses that to his advantage. And that's why most fighters aren't really scared to fight other fighters. They're scared to lose their O. That's what I think why ducking happens. They're afraid that they lose their marketability. They're not necessarily afraid to fight anybody. You see what I'm saying? And that's what the true essence of a fighter is. You fight until you're told not to fight anymore. And this trainer is telling me, no, that's not it. Yeah, the fighter fights, to his discretion. Hey, if he's in there getting beat up, then he's got to stop fighting. So my argument here is this, okay? And I told him, I said, you're a trainer. You should fucking know this. This is training 101 for you, bro. It's supposed to be anyway, right? My argument is this. Are we supposed to condone Amir Khan telling Virgil Hunter, who asked him multiple times, do you want to continue? Do you want to continue? And Amir Khan said, no, I can't feel my legs. Are we supposed to condone that call by Amir Khan, even though he had 5 minutes that he didn't take? What do you think about that, Bo?
Amir Khan, and you took my point, which is he had 5 minutes. He didn't take one of the 5 minutes, right? And I think the reality here is this. Either we're going to sit up and we're going to say that certain things is okay for one type of people, certain things isn't okay for another type of people. I said this earlier, I saw Mikey Garcia, who Robert probably no doubt wanted to stop the fight. Mikey was like, nah, no, I got to take my ass whooping like a man.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And wait, and let's keep it real. It wasn't like Amir Khan. Like I could see if he was getting he wasn't getting brutalized in there. Like he wasn't getting brutal. He was just nothing was working for him. He was getting beat at everything. But it wasn't like Terence Crawford was, what's that dude, Blackledge, that cat Blackledge who
you talking about
Chris Eubank.
Nick Blackwell.
Yeah, Nick Blackwell. It wasn't like he was getting brutalized like that.
Yeah.
Okay. So at the end of the day, we have to accept when a fighter does something, and again, call it for what it really is. Even if you want to tell me, well, Virgil stopped it, I'm still not ignoring the fact that I saw this motherfucker looking for the way out. He wasn't even like he didn't even go, no. Diego Corrales, who was getting his ass blasted by Floyd, ran over to the corner when his father jumped in the apron. Like, no, what the fuck is you doing? What the fuck is you doing? Okay, he ran over to the corner and blasted. Okay, even Lamont Peterson jumped up and ran over to Barry Hunter. Hunter grabbed and hugged him, and he chilled. Right. There was no type of protest from Khan. It was like, all right, take the gloves off. Let me, where's the microphone? Let me talk. All right, back to the dressing room. Exactly. That's what that shit was.
Exactly. He had the audacity. Khan is a guy that's been in boxing. He's been an amateur fighter and a professional fighter for over 2 decades, right? And he had the audacity to say he didn't know he had 5 minutes.
No, bullshit. You've been in boxing too long. And hold on, and wait a minute though. Even if you want to say, okay, you didn't know, I'm just gonna go with that, right? I'm gonna go with, okay, you didn't know. There was nobody saying, okay, fight. Who was saying, okay, fight? Did anybody say, okay, fight? Let's go. Come on, let's go fight. No. As soon as you got hit, they walk you over to the corner. They start talking to you, ask you questions. Didn't nobody say fight? See, nope. So even if you want to say, well, I didn't know I had 5 minutes. Well, you sure didn't hear nobody say, all right, man, you got to fight.
Well, that's what exactly. You made a very good point there, because if the referee didn't think it was low, he would have been like, what the fuck you doing, nigga, fight. Instead, he walked him over to the corner and was like, are you all right? Are you all right? That means he acknowledged that it was a low blow. Right. That means you got 5 minutes.
Yeah. And then on top of that, okay, I'm gonna go with it again. Let's just say you didn't know you had 5 minutes, right? So you didn't know you had 5 minutes, but you sure in the fuck didn't find out what's going on over here. What's up? Why is the doctor talking to? All I know is when Virgil asked you, you said, man, I can't feel my legs.
Yeah.
I can't feel my legs. I'm done. Then the fight got stopped. And I'm gonna say it again. You didn't jump up and down, you didn't protest, you did nothing to make me believe you wanted to go on. Okay. So for people that's trying to defend this, right? I'm like, no, man, this is indefensible because the reality is this. We expect our fighters, and it's funny to me because I know it's a gray area because fighters get hurt, and I understand that, and I know fighters get hurt, they suffer with this and they suffer that. I know this, but
Right.
in boxing, which is a combat sport, this is what we as fighters sign up for from the day we lace the gloves up as an amateur fighter. Okay.
Right.
This is what we signed up for. We are gladiators. We are warriors. We have to have that mentality. And the reason being is without that mentality, I might not even be in this ring with these gloves on. I might be every motherfucking body else out there. You have to be a different breed of a motherfucker to be a fighter.
Absolutely.
You have to be a different breed of a motherfucker. And I say this all the time. I love boxing because boxing is just like life. It's me against whatever the fuck is on the other side, face looking at me right now. God damn it.
Exactly.
And that's how life is. So for people that's trying to excuse this, listen, there are some instances where I say, hey man, listen, I understand. Like Kell Brook, I understand if people want to say what Kell Brook did when he fought Spence. I'm like, wait a minute, man. This motherfucker already tested life once with Golovkin. So shit, if you don't want to do that second time, I understand that, goddamn it, because trust me, when you have to test that life or death situation once, man, and you survive it, you ain't too eager and willing to do that shit a second goddamn time. That's like a motherfucker get shot and live. He ain't even trying to hang out on the motherfucking streets, no goddamn man. Hey man, fuck that gangbanging shit, man.
Yeah, nigga, I almost died, nigga. Shit, I'm getting in the house.
Well, I get it, I understand it, but this is a situation where we have to admit to ourselves that Amir Khan, and again, I'm not upset at it, but call it what it is. He realized I don't have it anymore.
Right.
Like for the first time in his life, this motherfucker probably had to realize I've probably talked better about my achievements and what my achievements really are. Because forever, and 2K's perfect phrase, he said it's the Jay-Z syndrome. He's always said him being the greatest, that people repeated it. Amir Khan have always said, I'm one of the best names in boxing. I'm one of the best names in boxing. Even after getting knocked down by Sammy Vargas, I'm one of the best names in boxing. You got knocked down by a C-level fighter. What are you talking about? You're one of the best in boxing. You got knocked down by a C-level fighter. Okay.
Exactly.
So, and then I said, man, if you really look at his achievements at 147, he was a A-level talker, but he was a tremendous underachiever in the welterweight. His first title fight was Terence Crawford. So Amir Khan, 35 years old, and I said this, he changed his mentality. They did that thing when they was talking about him and his wife and all that, and how he had to change this and change the thing about myself. And I said, yeah. And what I would tell y'all, when a fighter changes mentally, this is what you get. Because that Amir Khan that did that with Crawford, funny and amazingly, when it came to Marcos Maidana, this motherfucker didn't let that stop him. As a matter of fact, when they stopped the fight against Danny Garcia, he was pissed off and he pushed the ref off him. Get the fuck off me. He was mad.
Right.
He walked away from him. Get the fuck off me. He was mad. You didn't see that no more. Why? Because he realized when he changed his mentality because of what he was going through on a personal level, and he changed that mentality to adjust that personal level of life. And we've seen plenty of boxers do this. Was it Jern and Cajas, or who did it, where he got married and his father like, man, you need to retire. You ain't the same.
Kazuto Ioka.
Kazuto Ioka, right?
Yeah.
So when you do that what made you who you are is no longer there. And Amir Khan, and then when you don't have that edge no more, you start seeing shit that you wouldn't have normally seen about yourself. And he's like, man, nothing's working. I'm getting beat. My legs is not there. It's not there tonight. It's just not there tonight. See, when you lose that, you start seeing shit like that about yourself. And when he got hit with that low blow, he was like, man, you know what? If they stop it, they stop it. I'm done. I'm done. He was looking for a way out, man. Plain and simple.
Yeah, see, it absolutely 100% agreed. And one of my biggest arguments to Ronald Harris was, and we'd agree, I used the example you just put in that chat. You know what I'm saying? I told him the same thing. What he effectively did was he stripped an opportunity for a comeback. Now, all of us watching, we're like, damn, nigga, there's no chance of a comeback. He was getting his ass beat. But the fighter's never supposed to think that way.
Exactly.
Right? The fighter always believes he has a chance for a comeback. Right? Hell, Virgil Hunter didn't even think the fight was bad enough for him to stop it. He even told you, I mean, I thought he was a bit delusional, but he told you in the post-fight interviews, he said, yo, I thought Amir Khan was, he was picking up the pace. He was actually catching him a little bit. Amir Khan even said the same shit. You know what I'm saying? Which contradicts why he should have quit, right? But when you strip yourself an opportunity to come back, like Diego Corrales did against Jose Luis Castillo in that 11th round of that first fight.
Yep.
One of the greatest rounds in boxing history, right? Mickey Ward and Arturo Gatti. You know what I'm saying? When you strip the opportunity to do something like that, as a fighter, you're always supposed to think that way. You no longer have it. And I was telling Ronald, I said, once you're in the ring saying, man, I can't beat this guy, you're done. You're no longer a fighter. You're a civilian again. Time to fucking retire.
Mm-hmm. And let me just say one more thing. Let me just say one more thing. And this is what upsets me. And I really hate to say this, and it's gonna make people mad, but it is what it is. When I watched Christina Hammer thoroughly get her ass fucking whooped by Claressa Shields and didn't quit, I expect the same thing when I look at any other fighter that's out there fighting.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I expect the same fucking thing. I mean, Christina Hammer was thoroughly getting whooped, did not have her way. Okay. She was demoralized in the corner. She didn't quit. So
nope.
I expect the same thing when I see my fighters.
Nope.
When I see the male counterpart, I expect the same thing from the male counterparts. And honestly speaking, what Khan did and what Thurman talking about not fighting, that's the reason why Claressa Shields walking around now thinking that she can beat a motherfucking man because of shit like that right there.
Yep. Exactly.
Dude, man,
exactly.
Man, I'm done. I'm done, man.
I told my wife, I said, yo, if he would have took the 5 minutes and after 5 minutes, he was like, man, I can't go, I would have never said nothing.
No.
You know what I'm saying? The problem here is that he didn't take the 5 minutes.
He didn't take a minute of the fight. Got me. I'm like, this nigga didn't even take a minute of the fight.
That's the major problem here. He didn't take the 5 fucking minutes, man. My man Too Tough said Shields can beat Khan.
I don't know, man. He ain't got no punch resistance. Got no punch resistance, dog.
Yeah, she might fuck around and get a third knockout, bro.
Shit, motherfucker, Khan is taking more naps than my daughter. Shit.
Yeah. But that it perplexed me to hear from a trainer that he's okay with his fighter telling him I can no longer do it, and still wouldn't chastise him and basically talk him into retiring. Maybe that's why Von Alexander's doing as good as he's doing. You know what I'm saying? That's sarcasm for you. You know what I'm saying? Maybe that's why, because he's such a pushover as a trainer. Man, I would leave that nigga in a heartbeat if my trainer told me, yeah, you can quit whenever you feel like it. I'm like, man, get me the fuck out this gym.
If you look at history, and I had an interview with Tunde Ajayi, who is the manager and trainer for Anthony Yard, and he said something interesting. And me and him was talking about it. We was talking about, people don't talk about trainers anymore like they used to back in the past.
Right.
I remember Angelo Dundee when Sugar Ray Leonard's eye was swollen up. Okay, and I talk shit about Sugar Ray, Aaron Pryor, Duncan Leonard, right? I do. I talk shit about him. But I remember that fight with Angelo Dundee when his eye was swollen up, and he was fighting Tommy Hearns. Angelo Dundee was like, "Leave him alone, for Christ's sake, let the man fight." Sugar went out there in a fight he was potentially losing and got a knockout in the last round.
Right.
Okay. There was a fight, I forget what fight it was, but it was a fight over in overseas. Dude got knocked down 3 times and bounced back. It was like 5 knockdowns in the course of 5 rounds.
No, nigga, it was
10,
nine knockdowns
yeah,
in the course of
yeah,
5 rounds.
yeah.
9 knockdowns. The dude actually started off getting knocked down 4 times to the other guy getting knocked down just 1 time.
Right.
Yeah.
And that dude came back and won that fight. Yeah, that's right. It was the 14th. That's right. 2 tough things. It was the 14th round. Okay. So that guy came back, okay, and won the fight. I saw Derek Gainer get knocked out by Kevin Kelly when his eye was swollen up.
Yep.
And Derek Gainer was smoking Kevin Kelly at that time. And
Yep.
Kevin Kelly came back and knocked him out. So like you said, boxing has shown us throughout boxing, right? I mean, I can't tell you the number of times guys have been losing and managed to win the fight in the last round. Hell, a lot of us felt Oscar Rivas was losing that fight. He even felt he was losing that fight. He said it.
He would have had a surprise because he was up on the scorecards.
Yeah, right. You know, so
yeah,
you never know what happens in the sport of boxing. That's why you keep going, because you don't know if this guy's going to get tired. This guy might even hurt himself. You just never fucking know. But when you're telling me that a trainer is willing to, like, you're the trainer. Part of you reason why Andre Ward is the way he is, outside of fact mentally he was already like that, but he had a trainer that had no problem pushing him and getting in his motherfucker and getting his ass. And that's why when me and this guy talked about the trainers, we go back. I said, man, Angelo Dundee, Emmanuel Stewart, Eddie Futch, Customato, Art Rooney, trainers that would get in your ass and stay in your shit to motivate you, to get you to go out there and do what the fuck you need to do to win. That's the reason why James Kirkland would never shit without Ann Wolf, because she knew, motherfucker, where are you? Hello, James, wake the fuck up. What is you doing? Get out here. What are we working the goddamn gym? You need that, man. And that's missing in the sport. And that's the reason why, like you just said, that trainer said what he said. And that's the reason why Khan did what he did. Because why? We don't have enough of those. Get up off your fucking ass and give me everything you got, trainers, man.
Yep, exactly. Too tough. Pavlik Taylor, fucking Kendall Holt against Diaz. Hell, I can give you a Kendall Holt one on the opposite side. Ricardo Torres in the first fight.
Yep.
Ricardo Torres was getting his ass beat by Kendall Holt, ended up knocking him out in the 11th round.
Yep. Sure
did. I mean, there's a whole bunch of shit like that. Yeah, I know. Yeah, AB do need an Ann Wolf.
Hell, fucking Chavez and what's the dude name he knocked out in the
Meldrick Taylor.
Taylor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All of those examples. That's why I was perplexed that a trainer was telling me this. But like I said, his fighter reflects his attitude. That's one thing about a fighter, man. A fighter could be a certain way, but if you're with a particular trainer for a long time, you start to reflect that trainer's attitude. You know what I'm saying? Now, there's a thing. There's another separation there, though. If that trainer is not engaged, like John David Jackson, you know what I'm saying? He's just there to be there. Well, then you're pretty much left out in the water, because now you're driving yourself. That's not boxing. You know what I'm saying? Unless you smart as fuck like Floyd Mayweather and you can drive yourself. But even Floyd Mayweather didn't drive himself. Even he listened to a trainer.
That's
you
true.
See what I'm saying? So, his fighter reflects his training mindset. He about to lose to Anthony Sims Jr. in April or in June. I don't remember when it was, what day it is. But he about to lose to him, about to get his third loss. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is, though, man. Man, we about to get up out of here. Let me look at some chat. Some niggas in the chat, man. My man,
no. We ain't got time for that. Mortal Kombat 2 it just went active. Mortal Kombat, the Mortal Kombat 11 just went active on my PS4, so we ain't got time for these niggas in the chat, man.
Anyway,
I got these niggas 2 hours of my time.
We Degree said, y'all are going to Russia, though. Fair play. Man, to be honest with you, I don't think he should go.
Wait for the interview. You gonna wait for the interview. Wait for the interview.
Yeah, man. Oh, yeah. Bo interviewed Anthony Yard's manager. That's right.
Manager and trainer.
Was that today or yesterday?
No, that was today. That was this morning.
Okay. I forgot about that. Yeah. Wait for the interview. We're going to put that shit out on 3kingsboxing.com. We're also going to put it on the Facebook page. Bo probably got some information from Anthony Yard's manager. And I remember Don't say nothing, bro. Don't give us nothing. Nothing. Don't spill the beans. But I specifically remember Anthony Yarde's manager all over Facebook talking shit to people about how they are not going to Russia. Now, we did do an article saying that Anthony Yarde confirmed he wanted to go to Russia. We wrote that article. Mm-hmm. But I do remember his manager was outright telling cats, we not going to Russia. And he was getting vilified on his fucking Twitter post. Cats was like, if Anthony Yarde want to be great, he got to do that. Yeah, you got to do that. Well, if you think Anthony Yarde is that big motherfucker, he need to go to Russia. He was arguing with all them dudes. So we'll see, man. We'll see. I'm curious what he says in that interview.
I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to give you this one. He had a profound message for one Andre Ward.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, mother, man, my God. He spent quite a bit of time talking about old Mr. Andre Ward.
Yeah, I can't wait to hear that shit, man.
Matter of fact, you know what? I'm gonna give you the Google access. I'm gonna give you
I get to hear that shit for everybody else.
Hell yeah, you get to hear that for everybody else. I'm gonna give you the Google right now.
My man Weed Degree said the irony is Khan has heart. That's his downfall. Yeah, I was out there, telling people all over the place that Amir Khan doesn't duck anybody. You know what I'm saying? I never said he wouldn't quit. I just said he doesn't duck anybody. You know what I'm saying?
That's true. Yeah, that's very true.
And that shit really hurts his credibility, man, what he did. You know what I'm saying? All right, man, we're going to let this nigga Bo play his little punk-ass video game, man.
You just made.
Hey, I'm a 100% grown man, nigga. We ain't got time for video games, nigga. We making money over here, nigga.
I'm good with that.
Yeah.
I'm good with that. I'm good with that.
I'm good with that shit too, nigga, but I'm always going to make more.
I'm good with that, my nigga. I'll take that today, goddamn.
Word up. Everybody in the chat, everybody listening, make sure you visit 3kingsboxing.com for the best news and information as well as interviews. Also follow us on Twitter at 3kingsboxing, Instagram at 3kingsboxing, Facebook.com/3kingsboxing. Also, don't forget about this podcast. We was about 20 minutes late. We were some Negroes today, but normally it's every Monday and Thursday, 9:30 Eastern, 8:30 Central, 6:30 Pacific, right here on Prodigy of Boxing Talk. Also, be on the lookout of more videos. I'm gonna be coming out with shit in between these podcasts, talking shit, telling y'all a little bit of different things, speaking my mind, giving some education. The shit I used to do when I was really active. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna get back.
I got shit to listen to at work now.
Man. Hell yeah, we gonna get back.
Duck season. Rabbit season. That's my favorite video.
I need to get on somebody's ass, man. There's somebody I can clown out there that's been fucking up, man. You know what I'm saying? But
what is Fletcher, our lead journalist? I'm sorry. Shout out to
Ooh. Hey, man. We ain't gonna touch that, man. But no, real talk. Shout out to boy, man. Shout out to everybody, the Three Kings Boxing staff, the Three Kings Boxing family. That includes everybody who's rocking with us, everybody that supports us, even them hating ass niggas out there, them beta males and shit, bro. Without y'all, we still wouldn't be where we at today. So keep being a beta male. You know what I'm saying? We need that. Word up. Hey, you know who I'm talking about in particular too, bro.
Yeah, dude, that's why I'm laughing. And it ain't nobody from Three Kings, goddammit. So don't get it fucked up. We don't do that around here.
Nah. I'm gonna have some shirts, man. No hoe ass. They're gonna be the shirts. They're gonna be some black shirts. You gonna get them in different colors. No hoe ass niggas allowed. And it's gonna be a what is that? A silhouette of a face with the goddamn circle with the damn stripe through it, nigga. That's what the shirt gonna say. No hoe ass niggas allowed. That's our motto on Three Kings. Real talk. Hey man, make sure y'all follow. Appreciate everybody in the chat. Oh yeah, Too Tough. Appreciate the debate. Keep bringing that shit. We gon' get hot. This is what we do. You know what I'm saying? If you follow my channel, y'all know what we do, man. You know what I'm saying? But we always appreciate a good debate. We always appreciate the opinions of everybody. So keep bringing that shit. All right? We out of here. 1.